Getting you set for this game between the Barrie Baycats and the Toronto Maple Leafs here on Baycats TV. Patrick Melbourne here with you. Ben Davy will have the call today. It is Dominico Field at Christie Pitts, and it is, well, earlier today we saw quite a bit of rain in the Toronto area, but now the clouds have come over. There is no rain at the moment, and we look like we're going to have a full ball game. At least we very much hope so. We'll have the starting lineups and more in just a little bit right here on Baycats TV. Welcome to Dominico Field at Christie Pitts. Patrick Melbourne, Ben Davy here with you on Baycats TV. Let's get into starting lineups. First for the Barrie Baycats, who are visiting today. Noel McGarry-Doyle will lead things off at left field, then Roy Sando at second base. Adam Ott is the DH batting third, and then James Anderson, the first baseman, is batting in the cleanup spot. Jake Wilson's batting fifth, the center fielder, then Juan Familia, the right fielder. Carson Burns, the shortstop, batting seventh. Tyler Plumpton, the catcher, is batting eighth. And then Owen Jansen is batting ninth for the Baycats. Starting on the mound for the Barrie Baycats is Henry Civil. Now for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Jose Benicio will be leading things off, playing shortstop. Justin Mara will be batting second. He's the catcher. Jordan Castaldo is batting third. He's the first baseman, former Baycat. Then John Salazzo in the cleanup spot, playing third base. Aiden McCaskey is the left fielder. And then Dan Mara, the second baseman. Luca Boscarino, the right fielder. Damon Topley, the manager of the Leafs, is also DH and batting eighth. Greg Harrington is the center fielder, batting ninth. And then Angel Castro is on the mound, taking his warm-up pitches. And Ben Davy, it should be a really good ball game.
Thank you, Patrick, and we're broadcasting tonight from the corner of Christie Street and Martin here in Toronto at Dominico Field at Christie Pitts. And glad to have you along tonight for the broadcast. Patrick is doing some technical duties tonight. We'll have him do a little bit of play-by-play if the situation permits throughout the game. But fifth of six matchups between these teams this season, and the last one, a very emotional 8-5 win for the Baycats over their Highway 400 rivals. Each team with 2 wins apiece coming into this one here tonight. Home plate umpire for tonight's game is Chris Walters. Kenzie Wright at first base, Scott Costello at second, and Isaac Zipchuk at third. So a 4-man umpire crew tonight for this matchup between Toronto and Barrie. Baycats wearing the traveling navy jerseys with the gray pants, and the Maple Leafs in all white with the blue lettering and trim. Angel Castro lines in the first offering of the game. It's a swing and a miss by Noel McGarry-Doyle, the leadoff man. We're underway at 7:32 here in Toronto. Scattered shower activity across the GTA earlier this afternoon. It looks like the rain's tapered off, for now at least. Very comfortable 20-degree game time temperature. A little bit of humidity to make it feel like 23. And the wind fairly negligible right now, but it was blowing out to left a little earlier on. It's very much a hitter's ballpark. Shortest outfield dimensions in the IBL. A lot of home runs get hit here. Castro rocks into the windup. And the offering on the way, and it's a fly ball to left field. Aiden McCaskey comes over to his right, reaches up, and he makes the grab. One away. Let's look at the defense for the Maple Leafs. Behind manager Damon Topley, that is Aiden McCaskey in left field. Greg Harrington is in center. Luca Boscarino in right field. Infield left to right is John Salazzo at third base. Jose Benicio at second. Dan Mara, veteran second baseman. And Jordan Castaldo, the former Baycat, at his usual post at first base. Justin Mara handling catching duties for Angel Castro here tonight. And a call strike to start it off to Roy Sando.
Recognize that the video quality might be up and down a little bit as we figure out a new setup, so please bear with us, and Ben will do a great job in describing these plays radio style.
We'll do our best. Kind of feels like we got a bit of an old-fashioned setup here at Christie Pitts, but why not? It's an old-fashioned ballpark. Lots of history here. No scoreboard within our line of sight, so we've got to remember the count here with the balls and strikes manually. Ando did not go on the check swing. Roy's playing in just his 12th game of the season.
Right now, what's the count?
2-1?
I think you're right.
Here's the thing, the more we gab, the more we forget the actual count of the at-bat. This one hit on the ground to third. Salazzo with an easy play. Across the diamond, and there's 2 quick outs for the Maple Leafs.
Good to see Adam Ott back in the lineup. Missed a few games, and he's a guy who's really been helpful to the Baycats when he's been in the lineup playing first and third base. He's a good hitter.
Patrick, I can't believe this, but we're in the top of the first inning, and I just got pooed on by a bird.
What?
I'm not kidding. It landed right on my shirt and my hand. It splashed onto my hand.
Well, I'm glad it didn't land on our setup.
Gee, thanks. We're sitting under a tree, folks.
Your shirt is washable.
Oh, it is. But you can see, am I lying? There it is right there.
It's something.
That's bird crap, and it landed on my right hand. And I was thinking, is that peanut butter from my bagel that I ate earlier? What is that?
It doesn't look like peanut butter.
My goodness. Hashtag Christy Pitts Challenges. Broadcasting a game. The shade from the tree is nice. Adam Odd hits this one on the ground. Shortstop. Jose Vinicio. Throw over. And it's in time for the out. 3 quick outs as the Baycats go up 3 down. 3 up, 3 down here on the top of the first inning. And the Maple Leafs coming to bat. You're watching Baycats TV on YouTube. With Patrick Melbourne, I'm Ben Davy. We're live at Dominico Field at Christie Pitts in Toronto. Scoreless tie as Maple Leafs come to bat here in the bottom of the first inning, and they'll face Henry Civil, who makes his second IBL appearance for the Baycats here tonight.
Went just short of 5 innings in his first start. Pitched much better than his ERA would suggest. He did walk a few more than he wanted, but he did only give up a little bit of hard contact, struck out a bunch, and he looked really good. Has a big, fast fastball that will be his key today.
Baycats throw the ball around the infield as they get set to face Jose Vinicio, Justin Mara, and Jordan Castaldo. Top third of the order for the Maple Leafs here in this bottom of the first inning. No hits for the Baycats in the top of the first, and now Toronto coming to bat. We have had our first bird defecation of the ball game sitting under this big shady tree here at the corner of Christie and Barton. That's a broadcasting first for me, Patrick.
It's not. It doesn't look like what you would expect it to look like, so it must be an unusual bird.
Gonna need the stain remover on that one for sure.
And it's a nice Baycats shirt too.
I know. Must have been.
I don't even have one of those. I need to get one.
That bird was a Toronto bird, you can tell. Jose Vinicio up here hitting 277. 94 at bats, most on the Leafs in that leadoff spot throughout the season. He scored 22 runs in 19 games. Pitch on the way, and he hits that one towards the gap pretty deep, and it's going to drop, and it's extra bases. Vinicio rounds first, and he's into second with a stand-up double. So the Maple Leafs get the leadoff man aboard here on the bottom of the first.
Well, he learned from the last time Henry Civil pitched. This is his second IBL start, and he was throwing mostly fastball in the first one. Got a fastball there and did not miss it. Sometimes when you go up on the scouting report and you know what's coming, especially a AAA hitter like Jose Vinicio, he has something in mind when he comes up, and he certainly did there. Big double to start it off.
Our first inning is brought to you by Starting Lineup Uniforms and Apparel, the official jersey provider of the Barrie Baycats. Your season starts here. Catcher Justin Morrow will come to the plate with a man in scoring position, nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. Maple Leafs looking to get on the board. Benicio fakes a start, and he stays put. First pitch misses for a ball. Defense for Barrie. The outfield is Noel McGarry-Doyle in left, Jake Wilson in center, Juan Familia in right. Those three settling in quite nicely into those outfield spots. Owen Jansen at third base, Carson Burns at shortstop. Roy Sando returns tonight. He's at second. James Anderson is at first base. And the battery of Henry Sybil and Tyler Plumpton. Runner goes, throw down, and it pulls the third baseman Jansen off the bag. That's a stolen base for Jose Benicio.
This is the second game we broadcast here at Christie Pitts. I don't recall Bird doing that in the first one.
No, and I don't think we were under a tree. That was a playoff game, I think we did.
Well, we were over there
season.
because if you go back, you can hear Thomas and the Maple Leafs TV broadcast crew in the background and us in the background of theirs. This time we're farther away, and we are under a tree, but I don't see any birds.
The birds at Vintage Throne Stadium are much more polite, I must say that. The mosquitoes, not so much.
Did you bring bug spray?
No, I didn't. We're in
I.
Toronto. I didn't think we needed it.
Well, I don't know. It got pretty bad last time I was here for bugs.
It's ball forward to Justin Morrow. So runners on the corners now with nobody out. Henry Sybil in an early jam here in the bottom of the first inning. I'm just glad that bird dropping didn't land in my Tim Hortons coffee over here to my right. So that's still fine for the rest of the game, or as long as it lasts. Jordan Castaldo, IBL champion with the Barrie Baycats. Back with Toronto for a second stint in his IBL career. A big chance to get the Leafs on the board early here in this ball game. First pitch inside for a ball. Castaldo with a .347 average to lead the Maple Leafs. 22 games. Tied for fifth in the IBL with 6 home runs and 31 RBIs to lead the Maple Leafs. And drawing a throw is Mara. Mara 2 for 2 in steal attempts this season. We'll see if he goes here with a runner at third and nobody out. See if he tests the arm of Tyler Plumpton here early in this inning. Runners lead. And the pitch from Sybil. Foul back to the screen. John Salazzo on deck, Aiden McKenzie to follow. Plumpton puts down the sign. Sybil from the belt. Runner goes. Pitches the ball, and it's a stolen base. No throw down from Plumpton. It's a 2 in scoring position now. As Mara takes second, uncontested. And Henry Sybil facing a jam here in this bottom of the first inning as the Leafs try to get on the board. Here's the pitch on the way. Way outside, and it goes past the glove of Plumpton. He gets up, pitcher covering the throw is over Sybil. And the infielder's there to back him up, but all the way to third goes Mara. So Benicio scores the game's first run on a wild pitch. And it's 1-0 Toronto. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. Well, if you're Sybil, this is where you just need to settle down. Take a deep breath. Get the outs one at a time here. Don't worry about the base runners too much. Mara's at third base. Still nobody out. The Leafs will try to get him in maybe with a deep fly ball here. Try to get a 2-0 lead. But Sybil still looking for his first out of this ball game. Sybil pitched much better than the line score indicated in his Baycat debut at Vintage Throne Stadium. And this one hit on the ground. Foul. Over near the Barrie side. 1-0 Maple Leafs with Jose Benicio scoring on a wild pitch. Castaldo waggles the bat. Sybil with a leg kick and the delivery way outside again. That one back to the screen. Unfortunately for Plumpton, it came right back to him. He had to move a little bit to his left, but he got a good ricochet off that backstop. And you don't want to be relying on those bounces too much throughout the game, but in that case, it took a Barrie bounce back to Plumpton, and staying put at third was Mara. Henry Sybil with the delivery. And that one's high and outside, ball 4. Second walk of the game, and back-to-back walks in this first inning as Castaldo trots down to first base. Middle infield, Carson Burns, Roy Sando shouting some encouragement for Sybil here. They'll be mindful for the ground ball double play opportunity here. They'll probably trade the run for the 2 outs here if they can get it. And Salazzo, the third baseman, will come to the plate. Left-hander facing the right-hander, Sybil. And the first offering is outside again. Sybil's missed quite a bit on those outside pitches.
This is where if I was Andrew White or Brad Gravison, I might go out there and just give him, Tyler Plumpton is doing exactly that. I would just give him an extra second to reset, get back out there, and find his stuff, because right now it is not working.
Well, as soon as that ball left Sybil's hand, I heard a very loud and frustrated grunt, and I think that came from Henry.
Yeah, his command is usually much better than this, because with the velocity, he has to have that great command, or else it'll just go anywhere and not have the movement he wants.
I would expect the Maple Leafs to show lots of patience here in this first inning and make Sybil find the plate. And again, another pitch, high and outside. Count is 2-0.
There's no reason not to. If you're in the batter's box against a pitcher who's not finding his command, you just go in there and you be patient.
Leafs are known for getting big leads early in ball games. They'd love one here against a Barrie team that they know can hit the ball really well. There's a check swing, and it's a called strike. Is unable to hold up his Salazzo. So he commits on the 2-0, and it's a 2-1 count. Left fielder Aiden McCaskey on deck. He'll be the fifth hitter of this bottom of the first inning. Pitch. That one hit hard. Right field, and it'll drop, and it'll go all the way to the fence. Scores Justin Mara easily. Into third is Castaldo. That's a stand-up double for John Salazzo. And the Maple Leafs rocking Henry Sybil here in this bottom of the first inning. 2-0, Toronto. So not a good start to this ball game for the Baycats' new right-handed hurler. Josh Matlow hoping to get some quality innings from Henry Sybil here tonight. And the first offering from Sybil is a called strike. So I think that's the first batter that Sybil has gotten ahead of in the count here. It's 0-1.
If you're Josh Matlow, you would like 4 strong innings out of Henry Sybil. Again, going back to the last start where he gave you those 4 strong innings, you'd just like to see that again. And then a fifth maybe if things are looking good. But right now, the first inning not going the way Sybil has wanted it to go at all.
Aiden McCaskey hit what the Maple Leaf commentators called the longest home run ball of the year here at Christie Pitts last week. It was a moonshot to center field, probably landed over near the bathroom somewhere. I was watching it on the broadcast, and I didn't even see the ball come down. And ahead in the count here is Aiden McCaskey, the left fielder.
Well, McCaskey has definitely shown power since joining the Maple Leafs. He had a home run in that first game. I believe it was his first IBL game early in June. I believe it was June 1st here at Christie Pitts against the Baycats. He's always been a guy that has big power.
And another walk. 3 walks in the inning for Henry Sybil, who's really laboring out there on the mound. A little bit of movement now in the Baycat bullpen. Looks like a left-hander will start to throw.
Still nobody out. This is Evan Souls, and I believe that is also Kalen Clarkson warming up.
Clarkson looked pretty good in his IBL debut in Barrie.
I was about to ask about that. I wasn't there for that game. You were. Give me your scouting report based on what you've seen.
Well, he looked pretty good, and it was a very low-pressure situation for him, but he came on, I believe, in relief of Juan Benitez, either the second or third pitcher in that game, and logged a solid inning for the Baycats, getting through the those middle innings of that game.
That was not a close game.
Clarkson came on in relief of Benitez after 5 innings. Aiden Russell then came on to finish it up.
How was calling that game? Because it was really kind of a one-sided ball game in favor of the Baycats.
Yeah, it was. They certainly gave us lots to talk about. And they had plenty to talk to Henry Civil about out there on the mound. Still looking for the first out here. We got the bases loaded. Maple Leafs looking to add to a 2-0 lead. Baycats coming off a 15-4 win in Brantford. 5-game winning streak coming into this matchup here tonight at Christie Pitts. Dan Mara at the plate. The base is loaded and the pitch is high. Nowhere to put him. Mara's going to be very patient at the plate the way that Civil has been struggling here in this first inning. Here's the pitch. High and inside, ball 4. 4 walks in the inning for Henry Civil. And I would have to think Josh Matlow probably won't wait much longer here, as Henry Civil clearly just does not have it here in this first inning. Every once in a while, you'll see an experienced starter settle down after a shaky first. But Civil just not finding the plate here tonight. He's given up 2 doubles and 4 walks through 6 batters. Certainly the Baycats don't want to let this lead get out of hand. Pitches inside to Luca Boscarino. He's the 7th Maple Leaf to bat. Three nothing Maple Leafs. Pitches inside. 2 balls, no strikes to Luca Boscarino. Salazzo at third, McCaskey at second, Dan Mara at first.
And no base to put anybody via the walk, and the walk has been an issue for Civil in both of his starts so far. The first start, you don't really, whoa, that was inside. You don't really want to read into it too much. This guy getting adjusted to a new league, he was throwing really fast, he was having good command overall. But this is a little bit more worrying.
Looks like Souls might be ready already. He's concluded his warm-ups. For Henry Civil here, you just want to get a ground ball, get an out or two. And that one is outside, ball 4. Another walk, and here comes Josh Matlow. What a tough night for Henry Civil. For whatever reason, he just didn't have it. 5 walks in the inning, still nobody out. Matlow out for the second visit, and he will take the ball from the Barrie right-hander, and Civil will shake this one off and call it a night. So, 3-0 Maple Leafs lead. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. Evan Souls comes on in relief. We'll be back with more on him in just a moment. You're watching Baycats TV. Evan Souls gets thrown into this ball game a lot earlier than he would have expected. Nobody out, bottom of the first inning. Henry Civil gets the hook. Maple Leafs on top, 4-0 here, and the Baycats still looking for their first defensive out. First pitch on the way from the 19-year-old, and it's a called strike to Damon Toppoli. For Souls, this is basically like a start. He comes into the game, no outs recorded, but a high-pressure situation with the bases loaded.
Yeah, it's like a start, but it's also really not like a start because it's a completely different mindset coming in with bases not empty. You come in and it's very different. You come in with a completely different mindset. But he's a guy that can give you multiple innings. He can go deep into a game, has a good pitch mix, and could reset things for the Baycats.
Souls has made 3 starts this season. This won't count as a start, but again, coming into the game here without a recorded out, it may kind of feel like it. Be interesting to see how many innings the Baycats can get out of him. As Toppoli hits this one over the infield, and it's into shallow right for a base hit. Scores another run. The bases remain loaded as Aiden McCaskey crosses home plate with the game's 5th run. 5-0 Maple Leafs.
And this is a Baycats team that doesn't quit at all. And it's very, very tough for the players going down early like this in a game. But it's a team that keeps fighting back, and it's Christy Pitts, where we've seen high scores before, so you can't say a 5-0 game is anywhere close to over.
You make a good point because for the guys out in the field, not having a whole lot of movement out there with the 4 walks offered up by Civil, or 5 walks, excuse me, sometimes your legs can kind of get frozen out there.
It's tough if you're out there. It is really not what you want at all, to say the least.
Greg Carrington is the 9th Maple Leaf to hit. Still looking for the first out at the bottom of the first. He's ahead in the count here, 2-0.
Now, here's a question for you that's completely off topic, because I'm looking at the hill right in front of us, right? You can see it on our Baycats TV broadcast. Have you ever tried to walk down the hill like they're walking down so effortlessly right now?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever fallen down like I did last time?
I'm sure I have a couple of times, and I've seen a lot of kids slip and fall chasing those foul balls. This one in foul territory, and that's going to go over the fence and out of play, left side.
So I was setting up for our Baycats radio broadcast in early June this year here at Christy Pitts. And that was a broadcast that just did not go well from a technical perspective. If you watched it, you knew it went out halfway through. Not our finest moment from a technical standpoint, but hey, we've gotten a lot better since then.
And we now have our first out at the bottom of the first as Greg Carrington goes down swinging 1 away. And we're back to the top of the order for Jose Vinicio. Well, that broadcast couldn't have been as bad as what we've seen on the field here at the bottom of the first inning, at least from a pitching standpoint.
Well, from an actual baseball standpoint, it was quite a good game. From a technical standpoint, not so much. But
now, can we get both? Can we get a good broadcast and a good game and pair those up?
Based on the frame rate I'm seeing on my monitor, I think audio-wise we can get a great broadcast. And baseball-wise, it hasn't gone the Baycats' way. But I haven't fallen down the hill like I did last time. I went down to get my setup going, and I fell right down on that hill.
And the grass is really wet tonight, too. Yeah. So these fans sitting on the hill had to bring blankets and towels and jackets to sit on.
I remember in 2019, I came down here to call a game for practice. And this was before I was with the Baycats. It was actually a Baycats Maple Leafs game, Emilio Guerrero on the mound for that one. And I just called it into my phone. But I went down third base side, and I just called it into my phone. And that day I did sit on the hill, and I didn't slip or anything. I was very proud of myself.
Nice place to watch a game if you've ever been down to Christy Pitts. Bring a chair or a blanket to sit on, unless you want to sit on the benches directly behind the screen. There's a called strike to Vinicio.
That's a good option, too. There are some stands right there. Not very many, but some.
Well, most fans don't sit there because you're so low. There are some fans that do, but you're right down at field level, and most fans like to be up a little bit just so you can see the field a little bit better.
So
this one's hit to center field. A couple steps over is Wilson. 2 outs in the inning. Runner tags. Dan Mara comes in to score. 6-0 Toronto lead. 2 on, 2 out. On a sac fly by Jose Vinicio. Justin Mara gets his second at bat of the inning.
So I was calling that game, this year's game, not the one from a couple years ago. Down, you can see the Baycats dugout on the Baycats TV broadcast here. It's the area on the right by first base. and I was calling it on the benches to the right of that. So it was a pretty good view. It was a unique view, but it was a pretty good view, except there was no power down there. So when I lost power, that was it for the broadcast.
Yeah, we have no close-up shots tonight, so we'll have to remind viewers off and on throughout the game. The Baycats are wearing the navy blues, and the Leafs are wearing the solid home whites. Both these teams with similar colors.
And this is a navy blue jersey set that I've seen a few times this year. Been doing more and more road games, but I think this is the first time you've seen the navy blues this year. Am I right?
Yeah, probably, because they don't wear these at home. They wear the throwback reds at home
Right.
and the whites, but they don't wear these at home, do they?
No, they don't. It's their away set exclusively. And I think it's the only one they wear on the away games.
They wore a jersey very similar to this when they clinched the 2019 IBL championship in Kitchener. I remember that night very well. I was down there to enjoy that celebration, but that uniform had a bit of a gold trim to it.
Yeah,
There's a foul ball our way.
They have changed the jerseys starting in 2021, of course, in partnership with Starting Lineup Uniforms and Apparel. New jerseys all look really, really good. I really like this navy blue road set. There is a little bit of gold on it around the logo.
Which is inside. 2 out in the inning. Evan Souls on a relief of Henry Civil, who is on the hook for 6 runs here. I believe one more base runner out there is his responsibility. Topley at first, Boscarino at second right now. And that one hit a ton. Deep right field. It is up and it is gone. A 3-run blast for Justin Mara. It is a 9-0 Toronto lead. The fans jam into a little Hall & Oates here, very reminiscent of a Toronto Maple Leaf hockey game. I think they play this after Leaf goals, don't they, at the Scotiabank Arena?
Every goal, yeah.
Well, the road is on here at Christie Pitts for the baseball Maple Leafs. 9-0 in the first inning.
We are now a half hour into this game, still in the first inning, and it's 9-0. Let me just say that I'm very happy that we have a broadcast duo in the booth so we can kind of banter off each other, because this either could be a really exciting game with the Baycats coming back, or it could be a long one.
Well, I'm just glad you're sharing the microphone with me, because I think we're going to be here for a while. And you warned me before the broadcast. You said with the technical stuff, you're producing the game here as well as commentating, that it might be a busy night for you. You might not be on the mic a whole lot.
It already has been a busy one, but I think we're making it work. I'm talking a little more than I thought I might be able to.
Swing and a miss. Jordan Castaldo to the plate for the second time.
Just to give our viewers some insight, I've been doing a lot of the road games solo on the mic, and then when I have a graphic set up there, it's a little more simple than this because it's only one person producing the road broadcasts.
That pitch was inside, but it's called a strike by Chris Walters, probably just anxious to get this happening over with.
But with Ben here, we're able to do a little bit more of a proper on-screen graphic system.
That one sails high and outside. Souls now struggling to find the plate.
Baycats really just want this inning to be over, especially everybody defensively. This is all happening before anybody's got up to the plate for the second inning.
Here's the pitch, inside, ball 4, another walk.
No, that's strike
three. Called a strike. And that'll do it. So the Baycats come off the field. 9-0 Toronto. We go to the second. You're watching Baycats TV. Jack Dominico Field at Christie Pitts in Toronto. It's the Maple Leafs 9, the Baycats no score. You're hearing that and seeing that correctly if you're just joining us. A 9-run inning for Toronto. Starter Henry Civil, who was unable to record it out. Walked 5 Baycats for surrendering the game and the ball over to reliever Evan Souls. James Anderson up, and he skies this one right side, and trotting in and making the catch is Luca Boscarito. 4 up, 4 down for the Baycats against starter Angel Castro. Castro pitched very well against Barrie at Vintage Throne Stadium last week. Baycats winning that game 8-5. Top of the second inning is brought to you by BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com, your community, your news. First pitch swinging is Jake Wilson. It's a ground ball to second. Dan Mara to first. 2 quick outs. So after a bottom of the first inning that took about probably 25 minutes or so, Baycats on about 3 pitches here have 2 outs already in the top of the second. It'll take some time and patience now to chip away at this 9-run deficit. And Juan Familia tries to slow things down. It's a called strike. As Castro comes right at him with a fastball. 9 runs, 4 hits for the Leafs. Baycats still looking for their first base runner of the ballgame.
Angel Castro looks a lot more confident right out of the game today, now that he's faced these Baycats before, doesn't he?
Yeah, certainly does. And sometimes that can work in favor of the offense when you've had a recent look at a pitcher, you know his repertoire, and kind of have an idea of what you're going to be facing. But you're right, Castro seems to have the advantage here so far tonight. 0-2 pitch, foul back to the screen. Juan Familia, playing in his 10th game since joining the Barrie Baycats, brings a .244 average into this game here tonight. And he swings and misses at the 0-2. Angel Castro making it look easy with the Maple Leafs, and 6 up and 6 down through an inning and a half. Go to the bottom of the second, Leafs up 9-0. You're watching Baycats TV.
Welcome back. Evan Souls back on the mound. You can kind of see off the top, most of the clouds are trending away from the ballpark. It's becoming a really nice evening for a ball game. There was a lot of rain about an hour or two before now in the area, but now it's all gone away. And back on the mic is Ben Davy.
Thank you, Patrick. Big John Salazzo, the third baseman, to lead it off for the Maple Leafs here in the bottom of the second inning with a 9-0 lead behind them. Salazzo, the veteran, longtime Toronto Maple Leaf, has been with the organization since 2015. Souls gets the inside part of the plate for a strike. Salazzo broke into the IBL with the Mississauga Twins in the 2010 season. Swings and misses at that fastball from Soul. From there, went to the Hamilton Cardinals in 2012. They became the Thunderbirds briefly, and then the Toronto Maple Leafs in the 2015 season. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Evan Souls. And a small contingent of Barrie Baycat fans sitting over near the Barrie dugout on the first base side finally have something to cheer about. Back-to-back strikeouts for Souls, so there's something encouraging. Despite a 9-0 deficit, Baycat fans will take anything they can to find encouragement from here tonight. And Souls has looked pretty good since coming on in relief of Henry Sybil. Did give up the 3-run homer to Justin Mara, and that made this lead a little bit bigger for Toronto. But still lots of baseball to go here tonight. Lots of time for the Baycats to come back. That one way inside, almost hit McCaskey. Plumpton trots halfway to the mound, and now he'll go all the way out to talk to Evan Souls. McCaskey, 1 of 5 Toronto walks off Henry Sybil in the bottom of the first inning. Mentioned the Barrie fans here tonight, and this is a good road trip. It's not too far. If you're from Barrie, you just scoot down Highway 400. You can even park at the Vaughan Metropolitan Center or take the Shepherd West stop, as I do. I live in Vaughan, so it was just a short drive down Dufferin for me. Hop on the subway, and you're here in about 30 or 40 minutes. Pitch to McCaskey. Misses.
Baycats pitchers just really have had trouble tonight pitching to their spots. Tyler Plumpton setting up, and they have not really hit their locations the way they've wanted to.
If you're just joining us, 8 straight Maple Leafs reached base in the first inning before Greg Carrington, the number 9 hitter, finally struck out against Evan Souls, but the damage had been done at that point. Right side and through between first and second. It's into right field for a base hit. Aiden McCaskey is aboard for the second time tonight. A 1-out single brings second baseman Dan Mara to the plate. One of the more enjoyable games that I saw here was actually just about a month ago, Patrick, on Father's Day. I came here with my kids to watch a game. The Baycats were in London that afternoon, and we didn't quite have time to take that trip all the way out to London, so we watched some baseball here on Father's Day, and it was a pretty exciting 8-7 Maple Leaf win over the Hamilton Cardinals.
Baycats hit 3 home runs that day that you missed.
In London, yeah. First pitch is outside to Dan Mara, 1-0. The Cardinals took a 6-1 lead over Toronto in that game into the bottom of the 7th inning. They led
that was the one with the 2 home runs in the ninth, wasn't it?
7-6 lead into the bottom of the 9th. This was on Father's Day. Dory Torres came on to close it out for Hamilton. He got 2 quick outs, and then something that I don't think I've ever seen before in baseball.
That would have been something to call in the mic, wouldn't it?
It would have been. Back-to-back home runs, but not just back-to-back home runs to end the game and walk it off for the Maple Leafs. Back-to-back home runs on consecutive pitches to Justin Mara and Jordan Castaldo. 2 solo shots.
Both of us are a little bit jealous that we didn't get to call those.
Well, I got to see it, and it was pretty exciting.
Because we're both primarily play-by-play announcers. And we both look at moments like that and go, oh, man, I really wish I could have called that.
Nice catch by Royce Ando. James Anderson looked like he had a little bit of trouble on that, and Ando was there to bail him out. 2 outs in the inning. And even as a neutral observer to that game, I'm a Baycats fan, so I didn't really have a rooting interest one way or another, but it was still exciting to see something that you're probably not going to see again in a long time. 2 home runs on consecutive pitches to end a ball game. It was really cool.
It might not happen for years. Now, here's a question for you. Because we haven't really dived in. We haven't had a game like this to kind of just banter because it's not super close. So I want to dive into kind of the play-by-play techniques. Do you have a home run call?
You know what? I don't have a catchphrase. And some guys do, and it's just, I don't know. Every home run's a little bit different, but some guys have. I mean, you watch a lot of MLB baseball like I do, and there's certain guys that just they say the same thing over and over again on every home run, and sometimes it's good, but I haven't been able to come up with anything.
Hasn't been quite your style so far.
Well, I mean, you can think of Jerry Howarth and the "There She Goes." I mean, that was just so legendary for Toronto for so many years. But unless it's natural and unless it sounds right, I just find it's not good to force any sort of catchphrase.
I've kind of played around with the idea of having one, but same thing as you. I've never really clicked with one, so I just kind of go with what's natural.
Harry Carey's "It Could Be, It Might Be, It Is." That was always one of my favorites with the Chicago Cubs for so many years. Michael Kay of the Yankees with the "See Ya."
Yeah, there are a lot of good ones.
Runner at first, 2 out. Souls to Boscarino. Just missed.
I think the interesting ones are when instead of just a single catchphrase after the home run is when you kind of work it into the play-by-play itself, like Matt Underwood's "He's out of room, it's out of here," because it's kind of in the play-by-play. So there are different strategies with it.
Runner goes, and it's fouled off. Boscarino keeps the at-bat alive.
But we're on the same page. I don't really have one either.
The more you announce games, maybe a phrase will come and it'll just sort of stick. Who knows? Most of these guys that we watch in the big leagues.
I'm going into that question kind of knowing the answer because we've done games for 2 years now, right? So I kind of know that you don't have one, but that's me more asking, like, why don't you have one, or where's your mindset behind it?
Here's a pop-up to third base, and Jansen makes the catch. And that'll get the Baycats off the field in the bottom of the second inning. Maple Leafs up 9-0. We go to the third. You're watching Baycats TV. With Patrick Melbourne, Ben Davy at Christie Pitts in Toronto. The Maple Leafs up 9-0 over the Baycats on a 9-run first. Our third inning is brought to you by First Aid Canada, your Canadian source for first aid kits, AEDs, safety products, and more. Shop online today at firstaidcanada.com. Bottom third of the order for Josh Matlow's Baycats. Carson Burns, Tyler Plumpton, Owen Jansen will all come to the plate for the first time in this top of the third inning against right-hander Angel Castro.
Angel Castro's looked pretty good in this game. Remember last game when early on he just looked like he did not have his stuff and would not be in the game very long, and then he just progressed and he ended up throwing 130 pitches or something.
Yeah, I remember thinking, I was wondering if he was going to get out of the first inning. It was kind of similar to what Henry Civil went through tonight. Not quite as extreme, but he was really having trouble in the first inning and then settled down quite nicely.
He
ended up going 7 2/3 in that game.
He settled down really well, and this game has been completely different. He's come out and looked very strong from the very start.
The big difference to me between Castro's start in that game and Sybil's start tonight was that Sybil had control problems, walked 5 in that first inning, and Castro did not walk any in the entire 7 2/3 that he pitched on July 7th in Barrie.
Didn't he hit a couple of guys, though?
He did. And that only added to the emotion of the game as this one gets through down the first base line. It's a base hit for Carson Burns, who'll hold up. And the Baycats get their first runner of the game. We'll see what Tyler Plumpton can do. The number 8 hitter for the Baycats with a man on. Leadoff man on here in the third inning. 7 2/3 for Castro. 8 runs, 6 earned, 12 hits, 7 strikeouts, no walks. And he took the loss in that 8-5 decision. Castro still looking for his first win of the year. He's 0-2 with a 9.18 ERA. So the numbers don't look very good for him, but Barrie had trouble against Castro once he settled down after that first inning. Stayed in that game a lot longer than we certainly thought he would. Pitch, and it's into left field. And it's right into the glove. McCaskey, 1 out. With the number 9 hitter, Owen Jansen.
Third baseman, number 14, Owen Jansen.
Jansen's averaged .380 coming into tonight's game. Seems like just a couple of weeks ago he was down in the low to mid 200s, and he really pulled that average up in a hurry, didn't he?
Yeah, he had an amazing June. It's gone into July so far. He also has shown much better power over that last month, and he's a candidate. And I know there have been delays with the June Player of the Month contest the Baycats are doing, but it is going to be up very shortly, and he is one of the candidates.
He's got 18 RBIs, which is tops on the Baycats. So of all the big hitters that they've got, all the big RBI men, Owen Jansen may not have been your first choice for the RBI leader, but there he sits with 18. This one's in foul territory.
And he's down at the bottom of the order, which means he doesn't get as many at-bats in a reverse leadoff spot, but he also has a lot of RBI opportunities that a traditional leadoff hitter might not have.
His .380 average ranks 5th overall in the Intercounty Baseball League among eligible hitters in that minimum at-bat category.
What a great signing by the Baycats last season. It was such a shame that he had that injury last year and did not play a ton of games, but we're seeing Owen Jansen play a lot more this year, and it's great to see.
Burns at first, 1 out, top of the third inning. Baycats looking to chip away at a 9-run deficit against Angel Castro. Noel McGarry Doyle on deck for Barrie. Castro comes set. The leg kick and the delivery. And a check swing foul. Just getting a piece of it is Jansen to keep the at-bat alive. Middle infield, Jose Vinicio and Dan Mara. They'd love a ground ball to get out of this inning.
Good infielders, both Vinicio and Mara. Vinicio is probably the strongest defender on the entire team. Toronto Maple Leafs had a very strong outfielder last time the Baycats were here in Glenn Nerona in right field. He is not in the lineup today.
Here's the pitch, and this one's hit to center field, and it will drop. Burns will hold up at second, so it's a base hit for Jansen, and he continues to swing the hot bat on that .380 average, coming closer to the 400 mark with that single there. And Noel McGarry Doyle will bat with 2 on and 1 out here in the third inning.
So the 400 average kind of has a weird thing around it in some ways, because you look at a 380 average or something like that, and you go, okay, that's a guy in this league who might have a high sample size and be really impressive. Then you look at the 400 average guys, and that's usually a lower sample size. So you go like, okay, I need to look more into that to see if it's legit. If Owen Jansen gets up to 400, it will be completely earned. He has been that good.
Yeah, no question about that. Well said. Baycats had 2 hitters crack the 400 mark last year. Jeff Cowan, who played 15 games, so Baycats played 30 games. He played in exactly half of them, but he managed a .407 average over those 15 games. And then, of course, Ryan Rio leading the team with a .412 average through 23 games.
Looking down that list right now, most of those players at the top are still on the team. Jeff Cowan, still on the roster, has not played this year yet. But after that, it's mostly been year two of very much the same team.
Yeah, Jake Wilson hit 362 last season. Got off to a little bit of a slower start in the first half this year, but he's pulled it together quite nicely in the last couple of games.
Josh Matlow only hit 250 last year, eh?
Oh, I see. I forgot he had 4 at bats in one game. Which game was that? It must have been on the road.
It was definitely on the road.
Yeah.
I think the Baycats had a couple injuries that day, and he had to step in. Of course, an outfielder on the championship team in 2005.
Swing and a miss. Noel McGarry Doyle flied out to left field to start this ball game. Runners lead. Burns at second. Jansen at first. Castro takes a look over his shoulder. The leg kick and the pitch. Just missed. And the at-bat continues. 9 runs, 5 hits for the Leafs. No runs, 2 hits for Barrie.
So you were down here as a spectator a little while ago. Is it different going to an IBL game and not being in the broadcast booth?
I actually enjoy it. Well, I have many years of going to IBL games without announcing.
That's
and
true.
You know, I enjoy both. It's different. Strike 3. Frozen was McGarry Doyle, 2 out. Second strikeout of the game. But the one thing that's nice as a fan is when you're not broadcasting, you can get up, you go to the convenience store there and get yourself an ice cream bar. You can walk down to Tim Hortons.
I mean, you can do that right now if you want to.
I can. You're more than capable of covering an inning.
Come back with ice cream. Just make sure you bring ice cream for everybody.
What I did with my kids when they were really little is there's a playground just south of the diamond here, and they would go over there for a couple of innings. That ball drops. Here comes Carson Burns rounding third. The ball picked up. It's thrown in. And Barrie is on the board. It's an RBI for Roy Sando. 9-1 the score. So we'd watch about 4 or 5 innings, and the kids would get a little bit impatient. We'd head on over there to the swings and the tilt-a-whirl and the monkey bars. Let the kids burn off a couple of innings of energy over there, and then come back over here and watch the last couple of innings. And there's a couple of other ball diamonds just beyond the outfield here too. And there's actually some kids that are playing games over there.
Kind of looks like one is more of a sand and dirt diamond, the other one's kind of that gravel diamond. You can kind of see them both in the very distant part of our camera.
Castro's first offering to Odd. He swings and misses. Odd grounded into a 6-3 out to end the first inning. Barrie went 3 up, 3 down in the first, 3 up, 3 down in the second, and now a run on 3 hits here in the third inning.
I grew up playing on one of those gravel diamonds.
Yeah. Here's the pitch, and that one through into right field. Another run for the Baycats. Jansen is in. It's an RBI single for Adam Odd. It's a 9-2 ball game. Toronto and Barrie has such a history of back and forth games, and we could be in for another one of those here tonight. A lot of work for the Baycats still to do, trailing by 7. We're only in the third inning. And we know this Baycat lineup is loaded with offense. They've been firing on all cylinders over the last 5 games. 5-game win streak coming into tonight. Maple Leafs don't want to take anything for granted.
Nice crowd here at Christie Pitts, by the way. Started off, I think, a few people maybe not in as quickly because we didn't know what the rain situation would be, but it's turned into a nice crowd.
Yeah, we've had good luck with the weather, especially at home this season, but even on the road, I think the Baycats just had the one rain out. But perfect weather at Vintage Throne Stadium. We haven't even had a weather delay at home this season. It's been a great summer of baseball.
Did you just jinx that?
I hope not. Imagine getting through a whole season without a rain delay. Wouldn't that be something?
Well, you definitely just jinxed it now, didn't you?
But the sketchy weather's usually early in the season. It's, May, and then into June you get some thunderstorms usually, but
it's true.
That's usually when you
last year, I believe, when the season started in June, it was those early games that were rained out.
And then it gets a little bit hotter and a little bit drier as you hit late July and into August. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. James Anderson down swinging. And the Maple Leafs are off the field. But the Baycats score 2 to make it a 9-2 Toronto lead. We go to the bottom of the third inning. You're watching Baycats TV. We're back live at Dominico Field at Christie Pitts in Toronto. Ben Davy with Patrick Melbourne and a 9-2 Toronto lead as the Leafs back at it here in the bottom of the third inning against reliever Evan Souls. Damon Toppoli comes to the plate. 46-year-old player and manager, and he hits this one pretty deep. It is gone. It's a home run. No, did the ball land in? Yeah, it did. Okay, it bounced fair into left field, and it's a long single. Deep to left field. Didn't miss by much. Going back was McGarry Doyle, unable to come up with the catch. Very long, loud base hit for Toppoli. One on here in the third inning. Greg Carrington to the plate now for the Leafs with a 279 average. Playing in his hometown of Toronto. Carrington, 25 years old, playing in his third IBL season. Broke into the league with the Leafs in 2018. A home run and 9 RBIs. Souls with the pitch. Foul strike in the inside part of the plate. Damon Toppoli has one stolen base in his IBL career. Came in the 2018 season for the Leafs.
So he's really fast, is what you're saying.
If he is, we haven't seen it. At least not on this diamond. Carrington was the first out for the Maple Leafs in the first inning. And he takes that one, ball 4. He's aboard for the first time tonight. So all 9 Maple Leafs in the lineup have reached base safely. And we're We're only in the third inning. This is Dominican Jose Vinicio, Santo Domingo. '29-year-old shortstop.
I was really impressed by how Vinicio played defense in the last game that these two teams played. Was the most vocal player for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it really benefited them defensively. Just a good player.
Switch hitter, bats left-handed against the right-hander Souls.
And it's so good to be a good hitter and a good defender at shortstop, because that brings you to be one of the most valuable players in the league.
And we've been calling him Jose Vinicio, but I noticed public address announcer Roger Lajoie called him Vinicio. Swing and a miss.
We'll have to ask about that after the game.
Get a double to start that big 9-run inning for the Leafs in the first. Souls takes a deep breath, looks at the runner at second, checks him a second time, the leg kick, and the pitch. On the ground, foul. First base side. Topley at second, Carrington at first. Souls looking for the first out here on the third. The pitch, way high. That one just slipped out of his hand, I think, as he released it.
Yeah, you're right. It slipped out and went too high.
A little bit of humidity tonight.
More action up in the bullpen for the Baycats.
This one hit through the second baseman and into center field. Topley's going to round third and come in. Here's the throw. Not in time. That's an RBI double for Jose Vinicio. Greg Carrington goes to third. Still nobody out here in the third inning.
Certainly doesn't get any easier now with Justin Mara at the plate. Maybe the best hitter for the Toronto Maple Leafs, as Chris Cox is the pitcher warming up, by the way. Just lightly tossing right now. They'd really like Evan Souls to get deep into this game.
Here's the pitch from Evan Souls. Gets the breaking ball over for a called strike. And it's 0-2 to Justin Mara. (10-2) Maple Leafs. 2 in scoring position here. And this one is hit to center field. That's going to go all the way back to the wall. It's picked up by the right fielder, Juan Familia. 2 more runs across home plate. Carrington's in, as is Vinicio. RBI double for Justin Mara. And the Bushmen serenading Justin Mara with one of their famous songs down that left field line, chanting "Go Leafs Go!" And they got a special song for Justin Mara. It's to the tune of "Glory, Glory, Hallelujah." They sing "Mara, Mara, sock it to ya." Justin's been doing that all season long. The Bushmen are out in full force here tonight. Conference on the mound. Evan Souls has allowed 3 here in the 3rd inning.
Still nobody out as well.
Your brother, sister-in-law, and your
To break up the conversation is home plate umpire Chris Walters. Trying to keep this game moving along here. And Jordan Castaldo comes to the plate. Castaldo with a walk and a strikeout and a run scored. (12-2) Toronto. Pitch is on the way, and that's in the dirt, blocked by Plumpton. Maple Leafs with 9 in the first, 3 in the third, 12-2 the score. We're in the 3rd inning. Eight to 4 the hits in favor of Toronto. This one in foul territory, and it's just out of the reach of third baseman Owen Jansen. Just checking point streak here, and it says that Souls has thrown 68 pitches. Does that sound right to you?
No.
That must be him and Civil combined. That would sound more realistic.
Yeah, that would sound about right between them.
Souls came on for Civil with nobody out in the bottom of the 1st inning. Jordan Castaldo against Evan Souls. The left-hander waggles the bat. Souls gets the sign, the leg kick, and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Souls gets his 4th strikeout of the game. And still just 1 out of the inning. Here's Jonathan Salazzo. Salazzo, the 3rd baseman, Mississauga native, 31 years old, an IBL veteran. First offering on the way from Souls. Breaking pitch cuts across the plate for a strike.
3rd inning brought to you by First Aid Canada, your Canadian source for first aid kits, AEDs, safety products, and more. Shop online today at firstaidcanada.com.
Souls misses on that pitch. It's high and outside.
Fans, all Saturday afternoon home games that start at 4 p.m. this season are Junior Baycats Days with the support and partnership of Rock 95, Cool FM, Barrie 360, Moonwalk Entertainment, and Dream Parties. Family fun will be taken to a whole new level. Just 1 or 2 more Junior Baycats Days this year, I believe.
Baycats' next home game will be Sunday night. Vintage Throne Stadium. We'll get another look at the Guelph Royals.
Baycats also doing their summer camps right now.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of that on social media. It looks like the kids are having a great time. That one hangs up long enough for Juan Familia. 2 down. Runners hold.
We'll have some player signings as well, getting some autographs there.
Justin Mara at second base, 2 out for Aiden McCaskey. He's reached base twice tonight. A single, a walk, and a run scored. Pitch from Souls. Zips that one on the inside part of the plate, a strike. Souls with the delivery. That one's inside and low, 1-1. McCaskey hitting .282 this season. Fouls that one off the top of the screen. And the count 1-2 strikes. Soul a strike away from getting out of this third inning. Maple Leafs have added 3 to their 9-2 lead. It's 12-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. McCaskey in his 21st game, first IBL season. Still just 19 years old. Showing some pretty good power and a pretty good presence at the plate for Damon Topley in this Maple Leafs lineup. Pitch from Souls, 2-2, and it's high. The count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Some pretty deep counts here in this third inning for Evan Souls. Second baseman Dan Mara is on deck. Souls to McCaskey with a payoff pitch. Inside ball 4. He tosses the bat, and the inning continues.
Oh, they just picked him off second. What a heads-up play by Tyler Plumpton there.
And that will get the Baycats off the field in the third inning. So how about that? McCaskey draws the walk. They picked off Mara at second base. And they catch him off guard, and Barrie gets off the field. So that ends that threat, but not before Toronto adds 3 and makes it a 12-2 ball game. We go to the fourth here at Christie Pitts. You're watching Baycats TV. Fourth inning at Christie Pitts, brought to you by Centerfield Foods, feeding fans and families at the Barrie Community Sports Complex since 2005. And it's Jake Wilson to lead it off for the Baycats. 0-1 the count. Juan Familia and Carson Burns to follow. Wilson hits this one up the middle. It's into center field for a base hit for Barrie. 5th hit of the ball game for the Baycats. Baycats got 4 hits in that 3rd inning. Maple Leaf right-hander Angel Castro retired the first 6 batters he faced before Barrie got to him with a 2-run 3rd inning. 12-2 Maple Leafs here in the top of the 4th inning. Jake Wilson, always a threat to steal. Takes a big lead at first, does not go. First pitch is fouled back to the screen. 0-1 to Juan Familia. Jake Wilson has 6 stolen bases this season. He's been caught 3 times. Noel McGarry-Doyle leads the Baycats with 20 steals this year.
I feel like we haven't seen the speed from Jake Wilson quite as much this year as we have last year, but he's still got elite speed.
Well, he hasn't been on base quite as much as he was last season. Now, he has turned it on the last few games, but...
And he hasn't been as aggressive on the base paths either.
Nice running catch by Luca Boscarino, scampering back as Wilson, 1 away. Familia is retired.
It's a little bit far away in the memory now, but it's easy to forget that David LeBlanc was actually the most aggressive base runner the Baycats had last season. So Noel McGarry-Doyle, the more aggressive base runner this year, but it was really LeBlanc who was the most aggressive base runner in 2021.
This one hits a shallow center field, and it's going to drop in front of Greg Carrington. 2 on for the Baycats here in the 4th inning. Carrington had a good read on it, but just didn't have the speed to get there quite in time.
And he's got good speed, so that tells you how deep he was flying.
I thought he might try to make a nice diving catch for that one, but it ends up bouncing in front of him. Deciding to play that conservatively in a 10-run ball game. Wilson stays at second. Plumpton comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Tyler Plumpton, definitely a candidate for most improved player, or certainly turnaround season for the Baycats. A .220 average last year, up to .388 coming into today's game. Played in 15 games for the Baycats. Adding some consistent hitting, the bottom part of the Baycats order.
Adding the consistent hitting to his excellent defense and chemistry with the pitchers.
And a called strike. 0-1 to Tyler Plumpton. Plumpton flied out to left field in his first at bat in the 3rd. Temperatures cooled off a little bit here at Christie Pitts. We had a 20-degree game time temperature. Looks like we're down to maybe 17 or 18 now, with the breeze starting to pick up a little bit. It's blowing out to left field. Not a strong wind, but might affect a ball that hangs up there a little bit. Plumpton fouls that one off.
It's hard to tell right now which direction it's going.
If you look at the flagpoles in center field, you do see the wind picking up just from time to time. It's a little bit of a gusty wind, but nothing significant just yet. Angel Castro working from the stretch. 1 out in the inning. That one in the dirt. And looking the runner back is Justin Mara. Outfield straight away, infield just a couple of steps around to left. Pitch on the way from Castro. And now time is called, as Plumpton will step out. Castro steps off. Pitch is a called strike. That freezes Plumpton at home plate. And he heads back to the Baycat dugout. There's 2 away. Owen Jansen, the number 9 hitter, now comes to the plate. One other game in the IBL tonight. It's Hamilton at Brantford, and it's a 1-0 Red Sox lead.
Red Sox got their first win recently.
And it was over Hamilton, I believe. So
you are right.
Chance maybe to get win number 2 under their belt as Jansen hits this one a long way to left field, but it'll hang up long enough for Ada McCaskey. He makes the catch. So they strand the single by Carson Burns. And Jake Wilson at second base. 2 left on base for the Baycats in the top of the 4th. Go to the bottom of the 4th here at Christie Pitts. Maple Leafs on top by 10. You're watching Baycats TV. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning at Christie Pitts in Toronto with Patrick Melbourne. I'm Ben Davy, and the Maple Leafs on top by 10 runs. It's 12-2 Toronto in the bottom of the 4th inning. This game an hour and 20 minutes old. Actually moved along pretty good for a 14-run ball game so far. We are at the corner of Christie and Barton. Great corner for baseball. Lots of history here. And certainly lots of activity. You see bikes, rollerbladers, pets, defecating birds. If you missed it, if you're just tuning in, I got defecated on by a bird while announcing for the first time in my baseball announcing career.
Is this going to be a habit, do you think?
I hope not.
First time?
The bird was obviously a Toronto fan.
Yeah.
And we'll blame them for that.
Well,
of the first
I don't
inning.
think Thomas and their broadcast crew on Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball TV have had that happen. Of course, they have a big tent.
They have a tent.
Them.
The tent is for the home broadcasters.
Yeah.
We're here under the shady tree.
We should go take it in the middle of a break. We should just pick it up and bring it over here and see what the look on their faces are.
Well, in the playoffs, we'll just, if we do face Toronto in the playoffs, we'll just move over there.
There's a lot of caution tape around there, so it might not be as easy as just picking it up, eh?
A leadoff walk to Dan Mara. Evan Souls, basically a start for him as he came into this game with nobody out in the bottom of the 1st inning. Now, did that bird defecation happen in the bottom of the 1st or the top of the 1st?
Oh, it happened to you.
Yes.
So I didn't make mental note of it. You did.
But I mentioned it to you when it happened because I saw this splotch on my wrist, and I thought maybe it was some peanut butter from my bagel earlier, and it wasn't. I wiped it off, and then I looked at my shirt and saw it was there too. So I'd been splotched on while announcing.
Yeah, I just moved away a little bit from you and didn't make any more mental notes than that. Because clearly the bird likes you.
Well, I'm sure that bird had something to do with the 9-run 1st inning. That's my point. Obviously a Toronto bird. You know, we're here. I got my Barrie polo shirt on.
Bit of bias going on.
I just think that bird was out to get us. I mean, you
Maybe.
can blame Henry Civil all you want, but I'm sure it was that bird.
I'm gonna tweet that under the Baycats account.
You're gonna tweet that I got pooped
Quote,
on by a bird.
quote, you can blame Henry Civil all you want, but I'm sure it was that bird. Dash Ben Davy. I'm gonna quote you, and I'm gonna tweet that on the official account.
If you're gonna tweet it, the bird will love it even more.
Well, that's why he did it.
No, I mean seriously, how many play-by-play announcers can say that they got pooped on by a bird?
Well,
while
probably a lot
announcing?
of them, considering it just happened to you. I'm not sure this is like as special as you want it to be.
Line to Owen Jansen, a hot shot right into the glove. 1 out.
It's just that most professional play-by-play announcers are indoors.
True. I mean, it's not my proudest moment as a broadcaster, but definitely one of my most.
It's not one you're putting on the resume.
No, it's just such a rarity, such a unique experience.
The cover letter in front. I'd really love to work here. Let me tell you about the story that I had when I was in the booth. And there was this bird.
I mean, I know we got a good rivalry here with the Maple Leafs and all.
It was a pretty mean bird.
The Birds are getting into it. Here's the ground ball. It's a short stop over to first, and it gets under the glove of James Anderson. Looked like it might have been a 4-6-3 double play. Ando with a nice relay to Burns. Burns throw a little bit low, and it went under Anderson's glove. So Mara is retired 4-6. Topley is aboard, and the number 9 hitter, Greg Carrington, comes to the plate.
Sun's starting to set here as Chris Cox warms up a little bit more seriously now. Just kind of was tossing earlier.
High fastball to Carrington, ball 1.
I'm not going to pretend this video setup we've got is amazing, but one of the benefits of this wide angle is you can kind of see that bullpen on the right.
Yeah, the one nice thing about Christie Pitts, as opposed to our ballparks, the bullpens are definitely more visible. They're closer, and they're actually on the playing field side of the fence. That can make it a little bit dangerous on those line drives that come scorching hot down there, but pitchers are always mindful of that when they're stretching or warming up.
You know what this camera setup here by me makes me really thankful for is the amazing camera setup we have at home from our home broadcast producer, Brian Backlund.
Well, you've learned a thing or two from Brian, I can tell.
Oh, yeah. And it's hard. I think the number one thing you learn is this is hard.
You're doing double duty here tonight, updating that score bug and keeping an eye on the technical side of things while announcing. I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, trying to make sure the frame rate is as consistent as possible in a situation where it's really not. So doing our best here with what we've got.
Evan Souls, the right-hander. The left-hander Carrington, the leg kick and the pitch. And this one is popped up. And pretty deep. It's up and it is gone. That ball left his bat in a hurry. Wow. And it just kept carrying and carrying to right center field. 2-run homer for Greg Carrington. Two more runs for the Leafs to make it a 14-2 ball game.
This will be Chris Cox coming into the game now.
Evan Souls did all that he could do tonight. Tough situation. Comes into the game in the first inning with nobody out and base runners on, trying to keep the Baycats in this ball game. But Toronto, just too much for their young right-hander as he exits this game in the fourth inning. Cox will be Barrie's third pitcher of the night. We'll take a break and 2 out in the fourth. We return. Watching Baycats TV. Two outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning as Chris Cox will come on to work for Barrie, their third pitcher of the game, relief of Evan Souls, who took over for starter Henry Civil. And the first pitch from Cox, it's a fastball fouled off at the plate, strike one. Cox, a native of St. George, and he's pitching in his 8th game of the season for the Baycats.
And he's been quite good ever since joining the Baycats. Really has been one of the more reliable relievers. He's a guy that can come in late innings or the middle innings and fill different roles for Josh Matlow.
10 strikeouts and 7 innings of work. ERA 6.42 with a 1-2 record. All 7 appearances have been out of the bullpen. And he is a former Toronto Maple Leaf, going all the way back to the 2011 campaign. He had a couple of seasons with Toronto.
That was the year after I covered the IBL for the first time.
Had a stop in Brantford briefly in 2016. Got into 4 games that season and then returned to the IBL last year with the Baycats.
I had a program from the year I covered the Baycats, and I really want to find it. I misplaced it. It was a 2010 season, I want to say, program. And I'd really like to find that.
I can't think of another player who has played for 3 different organizations and had 5 years separating all 3 of those teams that he played for. He had a 5-year gap between the Leafs in 2011 and the Red Sox in 2016, and then it was another 5 years before he returned to the Baycats in the IBL. Third out of the inning, as down goes Vinicio, and that will do it, but not before Toronto adds 2 on a 2-run homer by Greg Carrington. And we'll be back with the 5th. You're watching Baycats TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say a very happy birthday to the fan Julie.
Dominico Field at Christie Pitts in Toronto. It's a 14-2 Toronto lead as we go to the 5th inning. 5th inning brought to you by Ital Paving for all your residential, commercial, and industrial paving needs, providing quality service for over 37 years because you deserve the best. I'm Ben Davy along with Patrick Melbourne. 14 runs, 9 hits for the Maple Leafs. They've stranded 4. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Baycats. They've stranded 4. The story tonight, a 9-run top of the first inning Off starter Henry Civil. Evan Souls came on in relief. He gave up a couple of runs, including a 3-run blast off the bat of Justin Mara, and this one got out of hand in a hurry. Good news for Barrie, we're still in the top of the 5th, and these teams have a history of seesaw, high-scoring games. Noel McGarry Doyle hits it into left field. And the Baycats get the leadoff man aboard for the 3rd straight inning. Roy Sando now comes to the plate.
There have been opportunities for the Baycats today, and a lead is never really safe here at Christie Pitts. And Angel Castro does sometimes leave too many pitches in the strike zone. So there are ways you could battle back into this game.
I dug back into last year's scorebook to pull out a game summary from last year. It was actually almost exactly a year ago, July 21st. Okay. A 20-19 Baycat win here at Christie Pitts in Toronto. Game? I was at the game. We did not broadcast it. I was here just watching. And the Baycats led 8-0 after an inning and a half and led 19-4 after 6.5 innings. Let me pull this up here for you. So it was 19-4 Baycats, bottom of the 6th. This one's hit to right field. A couple of steps over, and making the catch is the right fielder, Luca Boscarino. Runner at first, 1 out. So the Maple Leafs, down at that point in the game, went on to score a run in the 6th, 4 in the 7th, a 10-run 8th to draw to within 2 runs, and then in the bottom of the 9th inning, they scored 1 to make it 20-19. And Brad Grieveson came on and got the final out of that ball game, if I can remember correctly. A 20-19 Barrie win. So the Baycats led 8-0 after an inning and a half, 19-4 after 6.5, and almost lost it. Won it by a run. No lead is safe in this park, especially between these two teams. This one up the middle. Second baseman, did he get the tag on him? He did. The throw to first, in time for the double play. What a job by Mara. And he timed that perfectly. He applied the tag on McGarry Doyle, made the throw to first, and a quick inning for the Maple Leafs as they're off the field. Baycats get the single by Noel McGarry Doyle, but the double play erases that. Go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Maple Leafs up big by a score of 14-2. You're watching Baycats TV.
Welcome back. Baycats expecting some news soon about Frank Garces potentially joining the team. He's a guy who can be an ace for the Baycats and be at top of the rotation, guy we've seen it a few years ago. And all season long, we've been looking forward to the arrival. And when he comes to this team, it's going to make a big difference. And it sounds like it might be soon. So looking forward to that. Looking forward as well to more play-by-play from Ben Davy.
All right, thank you, Patrick. And we're in the bottom of the 5th inning here as the Maple Leafs have been on top right from the get-go tonight, 14-2. Bit of a high hopper is mishandled by Roy Sando. Took a little bit of a tricky bounce, and he just was unable to come up with that cleanly, and that's going to be an infield hit for Justin Mara. Jordan Castaldo will bat with a man on and nobody out here in the 5th inning. Well, that is huge news. I know Baycat fans have been very anxious for Garces's arrival, and we're told that it will be happening very soon. So that is good news. It's a big off-season announcement that Garces would be joining this 2022 Baycat pitching staff.
It was around Christmas time, if I remember correctly. And the only reason I remember that is because I designed the graphic for it. And we had the Roll Cats logo in the top right, and I did a little Christmas design for it. And I believe that one's on the Frank Garces one. So
fans were really excited to hear that, and there was a lot of buzz then. And the only question was when they would actually be able to get him here. He, as an import player, just making sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted as far as paperwork and getting across here and whatnot. And
so that will be Garces, Familia, Civil. Who am I missing?
As far as imports go,
yeah, as the four
Aquino
import
was an
players,
import, but he's
right.
not with the team anymore.
Starlin, I think. Hold on, I'm just looking down the list. I believe Starlin Rodriguez is the 4th one, who, again, has not joined the team quite yet.
And as far as the rotation goes, you'd have Frank Garces, Juan Benitez. That's a pretty powerful 1-2 punch.
Yeah, and then you've got Adam Kahn and Henry Civil, and then Evan Souls and Riley Hoover. So it's looking pretty deep lately.
Ball 4 is Chris Cox. Walks Jordan Castaldo, 2 on for the Maple Leafs here in the 5th inning. Looking to add to a 14-2 lead at Christie Pitts. Night sky starting to settle upon us here. It's overcast when we started. We're starting to see a little bit of clearing to the north and to the west. Stayed dry since the first pitch. Very comfortable night for baseball here at the corner of Christie and Barton in Toronto. John Salazzo, 1 for 3 tonight, doubled and scored a run in that big 9-run first inning. 2 on for the Leafs here in the 5th. Fouled off left side, up on the hill. Salazzo with a .299 average coming into tonight. This one gets away. Runners advance 90 feet. Up to third is Justin Mara. Up to second is Jordan Castaldo. Just joining us, we're on the road tonight. Maple Leafs wearing the home whites and the Baycats with the alternate navy blue jersey on the road this year. First base open. John Salazzo at the plate. Here's the pitch from Chris Cox. Foul back.
And we have a brand new setup this year. Last year when we were doing Baycats Radio, it was on Mixlr. This year, whether it's Baycats TV on the road or Baycats Radio, and we're going to try to make as many TV as possible on the road, but whether it's Baycats TV or Baycats Radio, all of it will be available on Baycats TV on YouTube.
Pitch is outside.
Trying to make it as accessible as possible for you to watch your team on whatever device you want.
Pitch on the way. And this one hit to right center field. It will drop and it will score a run. And maybe 2. Rounding third is Castaldo. And he's in without a throw. 2 RBIs for John Salazzo. Leafs had 2 more. 16-2 Toronto here in the 5th inning. At the plate now is Aiden McCaskey. McCaskey has reached base all 3 times tonight. 2 walks and a single. Scored a run in the first inning. Baycats beat the Maple Leafs 8-5 when they met last at Christie Pitts or at Vintage Throne Stadium back home. This is the 5th of 6 matchups between these Highway 400 rivals, and each team with a pair of wins. I always think about high-scoring games between these teams, but they've had a couple of low-scoring games. The first one was the season opener for the Baycats on opening night in Barrie, a 2-1 Barrie win over Toronto, and then there was a 4-0 Toronto win here at Christie Pitts a few weeks later.
The 4-0 game was the game I broadcast on from the stands here, and that was a game where it was all pitching and defense that won that game, especially from the Leafs. Good pitching and excellent defense from the Leafs, which is something that has been a bit off and on for Toronto. But in that game, they just had such good defense where any error by the other team, offensively or defensively, was going to come back and bite them.
This is actually the first game this season, head-to-head, that either of these teams have reached double digits.
Kind of hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, because you're used to double-digit scores between these clubs, but Toronto Bats breaking out tonight, 16-2. But the Leafs pitching, and you mentioned it, maybe a little bit under the radar. You think about high-scoring Toronto Maple Leaf games, but their pitching was very good, especially in the first half of the season. I don't have the up-to-date stats in front of me, but I checked about a week ago, and the Maple Leafs had the second lowest ERA in the IBL, second only to the London Majors.
Which is really something considering Christie Pitts is a hitter-friendly ballpark.
And you play half your games here, shortest outfield dimensions in the league. That's really saying something. Now, the Leafs pitching staff did have, I think, 3 double-digit scores against them in the last couple of weeks. But in the first half, they were very effective. Zach Sloan leading the way. The ace of the Leafs rotation this season. Cox's pitch is fouled off to the right side.
I believe it was Sloan who pitched in that 4-0 game earlier at Christie Pitts. He's a good pitcher.
Still nobody out here in the 5th inning. Which is outside to Dan Mara. Mara 0 for 1. He's reached base twice, both walks. Salazzo at second, McCaskey at first. Pitch on the way from Cox, outside. Ball 4 goes all the way to the backstop. Plumpton scampers after it. Cox will actually come over just to pick it up off the dirt. Everybody advances 90 feet. Back-to-back walks from Chris Cox here. McCaskey and Mara, and now Luca Vascarino will bat. Leafs sent 12 men to the plate in the first inning. 5 straight Leafs have reached base here in the 5th. And the first pitch to Vascarino is high. Vascarino 0 for 2, but he walked and scored in the first inning. The other thing that's going to be tricky for us, Patrick, as we get on in this ball game is the lighting up here on the sidewalk is not very good at all. Shallow center field, and running in and making the catch is Jake Wilson. 1 out in the inning. Lights on the field are very bright, but up here,
It's kind of the important part, right? So we should be okay.
As long as they can see on the field. David Toppoli reached base all 3 times. He has scored all 3 times. 2 singles and a fielder's choice tonight for the player manager. 1 out here in the 5th. Chris Cox, Barrie's 3rd pitcher of the night. This one hit to second base. Could be 2. Ando to short. The relay from Burns, and it's in time for the out. A 4-6-3 double play, and that brings the 5th inning to an end, but not before the Maple Leafs add 2. They leave the bases loaded, and we go to the 6th inning. You're watching Baycats TV. We'll be right back with the 6th.
First baseman.
Top of the sixth inning is brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Our house is your house. And stepping up to the mic for the sixth inning, Barrie Baycats media coordinator, technical producer tonight, and play-by-play man for the sixth and seventh innings, Patrick Melbourne.
It hasn't been very busy today. Angel Castro in, and the first pitch to him is a strike. Castro has pitched very well tonight. He'll be pitching to James Anderson, Jake Wilson, and Juan Familia in the sixth. Kicks and throws, and that's hit on the ground left side, and it's going to get through for a base hit. Anderson poked that ball right through third base, and it'll be a leadoff single for the Baycats' first baseman.
Center fielder Jake Wilson.
So Anderson, who's been hitting well all season long, did not wait around in that at-bat, and Angel Castro, who has been pitching well but does tend to stay a little bit too far into the strike zone when he's not on, left that one in. So we'll see who gets the advantage as these at-bats go on in the game. Castro's a guy who can go deep into games. We saw that in Vintage Throne Stadium where he threw upwards of 130 pitches. Here's Wilson, lefty hitter against the righty pitcher. Runner doesn't go, and the first pitch to him is a ball. Anderson taking a bit of a lead there. Did not look like he was seriously going, but at the same time might be opening the door to a stolen base attempt later in the at-bat. Doesn't go. Pitch outside to Jake Wilson. Now, the big test for me, Ben Davy, is whether a bird will fly over me and poop on me.
Well, it happened.
It happened in your first inning.
It did. So, yeah. But the birds have gone to bed now, I think.
Hit to right center field. That one is carrying and moving over and making an amazing catch is Greg Carrington. Carrington in right center field tracked it down and made a fantastic catch. One away.
James Anderson had to watch that very carefully, too, because if that dropped, you wanted to make sure that he get to second base safely. But what a nice effort. A great diving catch by Carrington.
So Carrington with a fantastic catch, and that'll bring up Juan Familia. And that was a hard one to see. Ball could have gotten in the lights. Pitch is a strike to Juan Familia. Familia today's 0 for 2, has flown out and struck out. Top of the sixth inning here in Christie Pitts. It is 16-2 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. One out and a runner on. Kicks and throws, swing and a miss. Familia fooled on the inside pitch. Infield playing normal defense. Second baseman potentially a little bit closer to the second base bag, trying for that double play possibility with Anderson at first, and now Familia steps out. Back on the mound is Angel Castro. Stares in for the sign. He has it. And now ready. Kicks and throws. And that's way up and in. And Familia had to move back on that one a little bit. Again, and that one is going to go all the way to the backstop. Anderson up to second base. It's a pass ball. So Familia gets back in the batter's box. Justin Mara behind the plate with the pass ball there. So the runner into scoring position.
Yeah, the Ralph case. You can buy?
Castro ready. And now comes home. Check swing. Go to second to see if he went. He did. Throw on to first after the drop, third strike. He's out, and that's the second out of the inning.
Oh my gosh. No kidding. No kidding.
So 2 out, and that'll bring up Carson Burns.
I can. Shortstop Carson Burns.
Burns had such a good month of June, and it really reminded everybody how good he can be with the bat, in addition to how good he is with the glove.
Oh my God, this young man. I know.
Took a look at the Toronto bullpen, Patrick, and it looks like Zach Sloan is up throwing. I had to do a double take. Number 31, the left-hander. He has been used in 4 relief appearances this season.
You have to think it's just him getting ready for an upcoming appearance as a start, right? It would be very unusual to see an ace come in a 16-2 game in relief. Up and away. I mean, if it was a close game, maybe, but it's 16-2.
And he's been so dominant this season, you'd think that they would just want to keep him rested for his next start, whenever that scheduled appearance is. But pretty sure that's him just getting some tossing in down in that Toronto bullpen. Angel Castro went 7 2/3 in Barrie last week, and they may get that out of him again tonight here.
It'll be a much easier 7 2/3, you would think, for Castro this time than it was last time. It took him over 130 pitches to get there last time. Last pitch, a strike to Carson Burns. Runner on second, 2 away. Castro comes home, and that's on the ground to first base. He's got it, steps on the bag, and that'll end the inning. Baycats get a runner into scoring position, but nothing else. We head to the bottom of the 6th. It is still Toronto 16, Barrie 2. You're watching the Barrie Baycats on Baycats TV. Back in a moment. Final warm-up toss is done as we return to Dominico Field at Christie Pitts. Greg Harrington will bat against Chris Cox. Ben Davy finishes his coffee and now runs to throw it out. He is running really fast and now going all the way to the garbage can. Makes a turn. Oh, he's got it. There's a strike in the actual game to Greg Harrington. Ben Davy has thrown it out on his way back now. And now the speed has gone down as he heads back into the broadcast booth.
I had to chug that really fast before the birds poop in it.
Well, that was quite a minute of sports broadcasting, wasn't it? Pitch from Cox to Greg Harrington, set off the end of the bat, left side. Moving over is McGarry Doyle. He'll get under it and make the catch, 1 away. I hope you don't mind that when I make my next demo reel, I might leave all that out.
Leave it out.
Like with the,
Well, yeah,
the running all there.
I would totally understand that.
Yeah.
At least the cameras aren't on us tonight.
Yeah. I mean, we could get a zoom in on your shirt there with the.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not, eh?
Not my finest moment.
Bottom of the 6th, 1 away. Here's Vinicio. And that one's going to hit Jose Vinicio. Vinicio not happy with it. Chris Cox coming in to say, that's my bad.
Well, Vinicio did not go to first base right away, and it looked like he maybe had some words for Chris Cox and kind of walked out on that dirt portion towards the mound. Wasn't sure how far out there he was going to get to go, but clearly not happy about getting plunked in a 14-run ball game. But in this case, I don't think Chris Cox is trying to send any sort of message here.
No, that was clearly command problems right there, which Chris Cox isn't thrilled about, but is very different than him hitting a batter intentionally, which that definitely was not. So here's Mara, Justin Mara, one of 3 brothers on this team, so we have to, clarify. I can't just say here's Mara. There are 3 Maras on the team, and 2 of them are in the lineup today. Dan's at second base, and Justin's the catcher, as has been the case in most of the Maple Leafs games this season. There's a strike to Justin. Then there's Adam Mara, who's in the bullpen. Chris Cox looks at first, now comes home, and that's a strike. Been a bit of a bigger strike zone today throughout the evening. One out, that was Carrington. One on first, that is Vinicio. Here it is. Gotten a miss by Justin Mara. That's a strikeout, 2 away.
Not looking back at that,
So here's Castaldo. Fans, Baycats Shop is your one-stop shop for all things Baycats, from jerseys, hoodies, t-shirts, hats, and fan gear. Baycats Shop has it all. Visit shopbaycats.com today or follow on Instagram at shopbaycats. And you too can have a very nice shirt like Ben Davy.
Bird poop not included.
I hope
they come
not.
clean, folks. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a while before I live that moment down, isn't it?
Especially if you keep mentioning it. Castaldo's been on base twice tonight. It's also struck out twice. Outside.
42 pitches for Chris Cox now, 21 balls, 21 strikes. On the relief of Evan Souls, who came into this game a lot earlier than he expected tonight. Henry Sybil got absolutely lit up in the first inning, could not record an out.
Pitch outside again from Cox.
Souls had to come into this game after just 7 batters. Leafs exploded for 9 in the first inning and haven't looked back.
Now leads 16-2. Here's the pitch, and that's fouled back to the screen. I guess more offense than a screen. Kalen Clarkson is warming up for the Barrie Baycats. Kalen pitched his first game with the Baycats in that game in Barrie against Kitchener. That's hit left side foul. Clarkson, a lefty. Here it comes from Chris Cox, and that is ball 4. So another base runner. So 2 on with 2 out. So here is John Salazzo. 2 on, 2 out, pitch inside. Cox has not had his best command today.
That's kind of embarrassing for you, actually.
Granted to second, could be a tough play. It is a tough play by Ando, who knocks it down, but is not able to get it to first. So the Leafs now have the bases loaded with 2 out. Ando did his best on a tough hop, was not able to get it to first. And here is Aiden McCaskey, who has a home run in this stadium against Barrie this season. You look at the different guys in this Maple Leafs batting order. Aiden McCaskey is one of those guys that scares you a little bit because he has so much raw power. And he can hit for contact too, as he just did there into center field. There's a base hit, and it is 17-2. Bases remain loaded, and the Leafs add 1. that game I mentioned a couple of years ago, that was 2019, that Emilio Guerrero start where I was broadcasting down the third base line just to myself as practice. That was a lot like this game, except the Baycats were winning. Baycats were up big in that game. It was something like 17-2.
Well, we've seen some pretty big comebacks at this park over the years, but time not on Barrie's side here as we reach the late innings of this ball game and a 15-run deficit. It's going to be a tall order tonight. Seeing left-hander Cale Clarkson now throwing in the Baycat bullpen. See how long Josh Matlow sticks with Chris Cox here in relief. Still just in the 6th inning of this game.
And I should know this, but I don't have it top of my head. How long did Kalen Clarkson pitch in that game in Kitchener?
He worked just 1 inning. That was at home against Kitchener.
So you would think they would ask him for maybe a couple if Chris Cox either can or can't get through this inning, as that is a fair ball right side. It gets down, and it's going to score at least 2. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. It's a 2 RBI single, and the Maple Leafs now lead 19-2.
Castaldo and Salazzo both coming in to score. 2 outs in the inning, and let's see how much longer they go with Chris Cox here. His pitch count getting awful close to 50 now. Oscarino will be the 8th Maple Leaf to hit here in this 6th inning.
Kalen Clarkson still warming up, throwing to, I believe that's Dylan Shepard, who's one of the catchers on this roster. Pitch outside by Cox. It is Maple Leafs 19, Baycats 2 right now. In the bottom of the 6th. Down and away. Cox ready on the mound, comes home, and that one's way outside. Plumpton does a great job to get over and grab it and prevent possibly a run from coming home.
Well, still some innings to go, but barring a miraculous comeback here, this is a pretty ugly way for the 5-game win streak to come to an end.
And the run differential in that 5-game win streak was something. It felt like the Baycats were winning big in every single game.
Well, they were, and the bats were really exploding. You mentioned that Kitchener game. That was a lopsided 20-1 win for the Baycats, and now they're on the wrong side of a very similar score here tonight.
That's a walk. So the bases are loaded once again here in the 6th inning. So here is manager and DH Damon Topley. Bases loaded. Still 2 out in the inning. First pitch to Topley is outside. Topley's had a good day. Topley has scored thrice and grounded out.
And I will avail myself of the flashlight feature on my iPhone here for the remainder of this ball game so that we can see my scorebook.
Well, good luck holding the mic and the flashlight and the scorebook
and
when
my
you take
pen.
play-by-play back.
Now you know why I drank my coffee so quick. Could use 3 arms up here, if not 4.
Cox ready, kicks, throws, and it is upstairs again. Clarkson's still warming up. Looks like he's just about ready. Pitch is a strike. That's that bigger strike zone that we've seen behind the plate a little bit today. Not to take away from that pitch from Chris Cox, but strike zone has been a bit bigger at times.
How many walks do you think the Baycats pitchers have served up to the Maple Leafs tonight?
Left center field, I'll answer that in a sec. Greg Carrington moves over, Jake Wilson moves over. Greg Carrington's the Maple Leafs center fielder. It's Wilson moving over, making the catch, and ending the inning. I'll think about it over the break.
Sure, I have the answer, so we'll give it to you after.
Yeah, I don't have the answer, so I'll make up something. When we come back, it is 19-2 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They leave the bases loaded, and we head to the 7th inning here on Baycats TV.
get some runners on him.
Zach Sloan coming in to pitch in relief of Angel Castro, who was really good. Pitched 6 innings, only gave up the 2 runs. And now Tyler Plumpton will lead off the inning to face Zach Sloan, who has been the Maple Leafs' best pitcher. So I'm going to have to go over to the Leafs broadcast crew and ask them why Sloan's coming in relief. First pitch from the lefty is cut on and missed by Plumpton 0-1.
Well, Sloan has made 4 relief appearances this season. He's been so dominant and pitched so many innings. We think of him as an ace starting pitcher, but come on for his fifth relief appearance of the season.
This is going to stay fair. Thrown on to first after rolling on the ground a little bit by Sloan over to the first baseman, Jordan Castaldo, and that's the first out of the inning. 7th inning, by the way, brought to you by Firehouse Subs Barrie and Aurelia. Only top quality, freshly sliced meats and cheeses piled high on toasty hot rolls. Buy subs, save lives.
Sloan has really been used kind of in both roles. His last appearance was a 6-inning start against the Kitchener Panthers. But as you look down the body of work so far this season, you see some relief appearances where he's just come in and picked up an inning of work here, 2 innings there, pitched 2 innings against London in relief, pitched an inning against Guelph in a 4-3 win. So he's been very versatile, both out of the bullpen and in the starting rotation for manager Damon Topley.
Pitch to Owen Jansen is a strike. Owen has been excellent this season. We mentioned earlier, almost up to 400 on the batting average. I'd imagine well over 400 on the on-base average, at least lately. Outside.
So I asked you in the last half inning there, how many walks do you think that the Baycats have served up to the Maple Leaf lineup tonight? Did you have a guess? 12 is the answer. And the Baycats, conversely, have not drawn a single walk tonight.
Owen Jansen trying to change that as he takes the ball down low.
Off of Castro and Sloan. So, I mean, you're looking for the difference in that 19-2 score. That tells you something right there. 12 walks to 0 in favor of the Maple Leafs in terms of drawing walks. It's helped them get a lot of base runners tonight. But
you just saw the first walk of the day.
There you go.
That was Owen Jansen.
Why I knew I needed to squeeze that tidbit in awful quick.
How about that?
Didn't jinx anything. Perhaps helped us out.
Well, the Maple Leafs would probably call that a jinx. Here's McGarry Doyle, top of the order now for the Baycats. First pitch to him goes all the way back to the fence. Jansen up to second. So that'll be a wild pitch, I would think. Looked more like a wild pitch than a passed ball. Kicks and throws. That's a strike. It'll be McGarry Doyle, then Ando, and then Odd. There's one out here in the top of the 7th inning. Pitch is inside.
Well, if you're going to beat the Maple Leafs, you need base runners, and most nights, 8 hits just isn't going to be enough against a team like Toronto. There's just 9 base runners for Barrie tonight, 8 hits and a walk. And they've been scattered throughout the game. So the Baycats offense just unable to get any momentum together tonight, other than the 3rd inning where they did scratch out a run, managed 4 hits in that inning, but couldn't get anything more off Angel Castro.
And that's another walk.
Well, that's how you do it. Back-to-back walks and a couple of base runners for Barrie, so an awful long way to go. But if you want to make this score respectable tonight, you got 3 innings left to do it. And a new pitcher, and Zach Sloan, not a guy that gives up a lot of free base runners either, but having a bit of trouble against the Baycats here in the 7th.
So did Angel Castro give up a walk in his first start against Barrie in that last one?
I'm pretty sure he did. I'll find out for you here in just a sec. I'll pull it up here.
Big swing and a miss there. This is Royce Ando, the second baseman, batting for the 4th time. So he didn't walk
He did not. And
anybody
he
in that
struck
last
out
one.
7.
And he didn't walk anybody today. So in 2 starts now, and How many innings is that?
7 2/3 last week against
Plus
the
6,
Baycats.
so that's 13 2/3 innings. He has not walked a Baycat.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And unusual that the Baycats had a harder time against him the second time around. Sometimes that favors the pitcher, but how about this?
Straight walks. After Ben Davy mentions that nobody has walked today, the Baycats decide to walk 3 straight times.
Well, and maybe that was a message from Josh Matlow down at the Baycat dugout. Let's be a little more patient here. We're down 17 runs. We're going to need base runners. Instead of going up there swinging first, second, third pitch, let's make them come to us with some strikes. And here we go with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 7th. And a conference on the mound now as they try to settle Zach Sloan down a little bit. And
Sloan, who was so good in that start in early June against Barrie, struggling here. 3 straight walks. And now the umpire comes out to bring an end to that meeting.
that's really something. 3 walks here in the inning from a guy who has served up just 16 walks in 39 innings of work this year. 43 strikeouts. I mean, Zach Sloan, known for his pinpoint accuracy, hasn't had any of that here in relief in this 7th inning.
You would think Kalen Clarkson will be the guy for the Baycats, by the way, in the bottom of the 7th, as he has stopped warming up in the bullpen. Zach Sloan, the guy for the Leafs right now, in a 19-2 game, but the Baycats have loaded the bases. First pitch to Adam Odd is fouled away. Odd has a base hit today, is also grounded out a couple times.
Interesting conference on the mound with an 0-1 count.
Yeah, given that there was a big conference the pitch before, it's hard to guess what they'd be talking about this time, other than maybe just giving him a chance to reset a little bit more.
Maybe Justin Mara didn't get the pitch he called for. I'm not sure. But
there's also somebody warming for the Maple Leafs right now, so maybe just giving him a bit more time.
The left-hander throwing for the Leafs. We'll try to find out who that is for you.
Kicks, throws, outside. 1 out, the base is loaded. Odd steps in, bat over the shoulder, swings and misses. He was too far ahead of that pitch. And now a key situation for Adam Odd and the Barrie Baycats here. On the ground, moving over is Castaldo. He throws it to Zach Sloan, who drops the ball. He's safe. Everybody's going to be safe. And the Baycats had a run. Castaldo gave the ball on an underhand to Sloan, and Sloan dropped it. That's not something you really see very often, even in a big game like this where the Leafs are up by so many runs.
First baseman James Anderson.
Just not a lot of urgency there. So the bases remain loaded with 1 out for James Anderson, who really loves spots like this. There's a strike. Kicks comes home, and another strike. So 2 strikes to Anderson now. Ben Davy over by the PA box, as that is inside, trying to figure out who this reliever is. Our viewpoint of the Baycats bullpen is excellent. Our viewpoint of the Maple Leafs bullpen is not. Anderson hits that one to right. Moving over and making the catch is, I believe that's Boscarino. Throws it in. I'm not scoring like I usually do because I'm also producing the broadcast.
Center fielder Jake Wilson.
So there are 2 away. Jake Wilson will step up now. Can you just confirm to me that Luke? I shouldn't have doubted myself. Luca Boscarino is indeed in right. Who's warming up?
I can't quite see. I was down there. It's a left-hander. With a little bit of a 3/4 delivery, but I could not quite make out the numbers. Sorry.
I'm disappointed in you.
have
You were
failed
out
me.
there for a long
You
time.
know.
You were out there for a long time.
Well, I could have walked all the way down there, but I didn't want to take. want to take my scorebook away from you.
That one's hit high and not as deep as it looked off the bat. Moving over is Boscarino, and he makes the catch to retire the side. Through 6.5, it is Toronto 19, Barrie 3. They had 1 run. Back in a moment on Baycats TV. Bottom 7, Kalen Clarkson in for his second appearance as a Barrie Baycat. He'll be facing off against Greg Carrington, Jose Vinicio, and Justin Mara. Clarkson pitched that 1 inning in Barrie in his debut. Added to the roster the same day as Henry Sivel. He's a lefty who's a former member of the Ontario Blue Jays.
A big left-hander stands 6'3", 235 pounds. Just turned 19 last month. Very young. He's a Barrie native, pitching for the hometown Barrie Baycats here, and as you mentioned, just his second appearance with his new team.
He'll be facing off against Greg Carrington to lead off the inning. First pitch by the lefty, Kalen Clarkson is outside. No, it's just going to get the zone. It is a wide strike zone today. And it has been on both sides, which I guess in a 19-3 ball game is not really the worst thing in the world.
Clarkson, for the first time in his IBL career, will face the heckling of the Bushman down the left field line, chanting his name, something that all visiting pitchers have to get used to at some point or another, especially this late in the ball game after a couple of beverages.
The reliever warming up, by the way, for the Toronto Maple Leafs is Adam Mara. Pitch by Clarkson. That's a strike 2, 0-2. And that's strike 3, a 3-pitch strikeout for Kalen Clarkson. Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Great way for Clarkson to get that first out and a strikeout nonetheless. This relief appearance for him, second appearance as a Baycat. Trying to get a quick 3-up, 3-down inning here in the 7th and get his team back up to bat in the top of the 8th. A lot of work to do offensively to make this score respectable.
Here's Jose Vinicio. Way inside, Vinicio will take a second here. He was hit by a pitch earlier today, and he was not happy about it. He went out to Chris Cox to give him a couple of words. That's way up and away from Clarkson, who had such good command in that first at-bat.
Maple Leafs bushmen who are always entertaining to listen to, one of their common heckles is they like to draw attention to the height of the pitcher's socks. And Kale has those pants hiked right up to the knees, so they're having some fun with them.
Big cut and a miss. Benicio guessed wrong on that one. 2-1. Have you noticed that some baseball players don't just wear the high socks anymore, but now they've almost gone to wearing shorts with the high socks?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's there seem to be the one extreme or the other. And I've noticed as a general rule, pitchers seem to be wearing those pant legs up higher than they used to a couple of years ago. It seemed like everybody had the pants right down to the shoe tops, but that trend seems to be changing a little bit.
Pitch inside, count 3-1. Clarkson pitches, comes home, and that is fouled away toward us. It's off a tree. Who's going to get it? Someone next to the Maple Leafs broadcast booth. See, the Maple Leafs broadcast booth has a tent over it, which means no bird can decorate your shirt. And that one goes behind Benicio, and Benicio stares at the mound to say, okay, what's up?
2 brushback pitches there for Cale Clarkson. But
that's ball 4.
again, in this situation, a 16-run ball game, Clarkson's just trying to get outs. Baycats certainly aren't trying to stir anything up here in this game. And looks like catchers. I just was over there having a bit of a chat, I think, with David Topley.
Maybe Plumpton saying, hey, this guy's in his second IBL game. He is still learning things. It's a 19-3 game. There was no intent on a pitch inside.
It's interesting to see the Baycat catcher over there having a conversation with somebody from the Leafs. And the umpire wasn't in the way there to try to break that up at all, just sort of let them talk it out.
Well, everybody knows Tyler Plumpton's a leader. And he's someone who is not going to be a troublemaker. Here's Justin Mara. Brad Grieveson has now started warming in the bullpen for the Baycats. He'll go in the 8th, you would think. Clarkson looking for the second out. Benicio on first does not go, although he has speed. That one's upstairs. That's a strike. Looking at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Yeah, we got a 22-run ball game here at Christie Pitts. Different game completely at Arnold Anderson Stadium in Brantford tonight. It's a 2-1 Red Sox lead over Hamilton.
It's right field. And that one's going to get down and go past the right fielder, Juan Familia. Moving to third is Benicio, and that will likely be scored in error.
If so, that'll be Barrie's first error of the ball game, and we'll see how they decide to rule that. Looked like a catchable ball for Familia. Reset.
So here is Jordan Castaldo. Castaldo is a dangerous hitter, and Kalen Clarkson has never faced him. One of the newest Baycats against one of the greatest Baycats of all time. Lefty to the lefty hitter, and that one's inside. One of the reasons Clarkson would have been brought into this game would have been to face the lefty Castaldo in the lefty-lefty matchup. Kicks and comes home. Big swing and a miss there, and that's one of the reasons why that lefty delivery can be so deceiving to left-handed hitters. It comes in at such an odd angle, and Castaldo just completely missed that.
Ball hit by Justin Mara has been ruled a single, whether it was misplayed by Familia or not. Obviously, making no contact with it. We'll give him a hit on that. And Benicio was actually hit by a pitch on that at-bat earlier. That ball actually did did make contact with him. We thought maybe it was ball 4.
I think it would have been ball 4 anyway, so either way, same result.
It's ruled a hit batter on the official scoring notes here.
So if you're scoring at home, there you go.
The walk total's high enough. Not that it matters one way or another tonight.
If you're scoring at home, maybe consider that it's 19-3, and maybe don't. Left center, moving over is Wilson. He's got under it. He'll make the catch, 2 away. Runner will tag at third. That's Vinicio, and it's 20-3. And you would think that was the game-winning run by the reaction. So here's Jonathan Solazzo. Longtime member of the Maple Leafs. (20-3). Not the score the Baycats had really envisioned.
And the Bushmen down the left field line were chanting, "We want 30. We want 30."
That seems unlikely.
I wouldn't rule it out tonight, but you never know.
Pitch by Clarkson. On the ground up the middle, that'll be a base hit. So runners will be on first and second. Solazzo is on base. That'll bring out the powerful left-handed hitter, Aiden McCaskey. First pitch to McCaskey is a strike. Sun has completely set here at Christie Pitts in a game that began at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, now just past 10. And that's way inside, goes all the way to the screen. Moving up to third is the lead runner, and there are runners on the corners.
First time this season, Patrick, that the Leafs have scored or given up 20 runs. Their previous high-scoring game was an 18-6 win over Kitchener.
Adam Mott has started warming up in the bullpen.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been that kind of unusual night for the Baycats. Swing and a miss. Clarkson gets him on strikes, and that'll end the inning. 8th inning coming up. Ben Davy will be on the call for you right here on Baycats TV. Jordan Castaldo. 8th inning brought to you by Mr. Lawn Care and Landscaping. Mr. Lawn Care and Landscaping, servicing Simcoe County for all of your landscaping needs. Back out there on the mound, Zach Sloan. Back up there on the mic, Ben Davy.
Thank you, Patrick. And it's Dawson Parks taking over for Jordan Castaldo at first base. So as you mentioned, Castaldo at third, Parks at first. And for the Baycats, Wilson, Familia, and Burns up here in the 8th inning. I'm sorry, Familia, Burns, and Plumpton.
Something going on there.
Familia now wandering over towards the Toronto side a little bit, and now we've got a chat between Plumpton's out there talking to the umpire.
I think the umpire
And
might have.
Topley was out there as well.
The umpire might have got caught by a foul ball or something.
Oh, yes. Good eye there. Home plate umpire tonight is Chris Walters. Hopefully he's okay. It is a 4-man crew tonight, which I don't think we've seen in the IBL, at least for Barrie this season. Hopefully Chris Walters is okay.
Well, the 4-man umpiring crew is welcome because it gives you the best angle at every single position, right? Especially with check swings.
So hopefully he's okay. Zach Sloan on in relief of Angel Castro, who pitched solid again tonight for the Maple Leafs. Second straight appearance against the Baycats, or the Dominican right-hander.
Reflection on the changes for the Maple Leafs. McCaskey is now playing at first base. Dawson Parks playing left field. Castaldo at third.
Yeah, Sir Roger Lajoie just clearing up some changes there for us.
Dawson Parks over to left, Aiden McCaskey over to first.
Castaldo at third.
And the umpire's okay. Which is the most important news, because you never like to see anybody take a bad hit on a foul ball.
Well, 0 for 3 tonight. The pitch from the left-hander, Sloan, on the way, swinging a miss. He'll run down to first. The throw is made by Mara to McCaskey. One out here in the 8th inning. So Familia 0 for 4 tonight. Carson Burns come to the plate for the Baycats. Well, baseball's a funny game. You score 20 runs on a Saturday night. You give up 20 runs on a Wednesday night. Two most lopsided scores of the year for the Baycats, and they've been on both ends of them in less than a week.
Well, the good thing about them happening back-to-back with the loss right now versus the win is still somewhat fresh in your memory, right? So you can go back there and know you're a really good team. It's just one night that hasn't gone your way, and you don't have to think about it too much.
Yeah, that's a good point. You got to have a short memory here in the IBL.
In any baseball league, really.
Carson Burns has reached base twice tonight, scored a run, one of 3 Barrie runs this evening. He scored Barrie's first run in the 3rd inning. So 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals for Toronto, 1 field goal for Barrie. It's a 20-3 football score here tonight.
You've never called football, have you?
No, I have. We talked about it
that
before.
Conversation.
Yeah. Would love to call a football game someday.
I've done analysis for the football team, but I haven't done play-by-play for them.
Is that high school in Barrie?
No, that was Huronia Stallions on Rogers TV.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Very good.
Myself and Ben Brown doing those games on Rogers TV. Hoping to get Ben on one of these Baycats TV broadcasts at some point.
I've never seen a Huronia Stallions game.
They're good.
I've heard they're exciting, and I know high school football is very big in Barrie, Innisdale, and Eastview. Always have good teams. This one foul or down the line, and that's a fair ball into left field. So 2 on for the Baycats here in the 8th inning. Base hit for Plumpton. His first hit of the night. Burns to second. And the number 9 hitter, Owen Jansen, comes to the plate. Jansen tonight, a hit, a walk. He has scored both runs. 2 runs tonight. 2 of Barrie's 3 runs come from the number 9 hitter.
He's such a good hitter. He's patient, but he's also got a great approach. He's able to get into at-bats and stay in at-bats.
Played just 9 games for the Baycats last season and seeing a much more consistent role with the club here in 2022.
He's someone I think has a really good baseball career ahead of him.
Just one more game between the Leafs and the Baycats, and it'll be here at Christie Pitts on July 27th. That's the last of 6 regular season matchups for these clubs. Of course, they met each other in the postseason last year. Toronto taking both games in a best of 3, one here and one back home, or one home for us in Barrie. Pitch is a called strike, and Jansen thought that was inside. Started to head to first, and he'll make a sharp right and head to the Barrie dugout.
And it has been a wide strike zone all night long for both teams, so not surprising to see that continue.
The batters won't be getting any help in a 17-run game, that's for sure. And that's certainly to be expected. They're back to the top of the order now for Noel McGarry-Doyle. 5th plate appearance tonight for the Baycats speedy left fielder. He's been on base twice, a walk and a single. "20 runs, 16 hits for the Maple Leafs, 3 on 9 for Barrie. Just one error in the ballgame.
Adam Odd, who is not quite on deck yet, but up soon, is still warming up in the bullpen. So it looks like he's going to come in the bottom of the 8th inning. And that one way inside.
Down in Brantford, the Red Sox still hanging on to that 2-1 lead over the Hamilton Cardinals in the 7th inning now at Arnold Anderson Stadium. Just 2 hits for the Red Sox in that game. 2 runs on 2 hits. That one a pitcher's duel between the 7th and 8th place teams in the IBL, and a complete reversal of this game here tonight.
Good to see Brantford in the lead, competitive in more games.
And another called strike, this one to Noel McGarry-Doyle. 3 strikeouts for Zach Sloan in the 8th, and the Baycats strand 2. Go to the bottom of the 8th inning at Christie Pitts in Toronto. Maple Leafs up big, 20-3. You're watching Baycats TV.
It'll be Adam Odd pitching for the Barrie Baycats. As we welcome you back, it is the bottom of the 8th inning. Fans and newly redesigned BarrieBaycats.com features more highlights, more game day info, and a brand new Baycats TV spoiler-free experience Head to BarrieBaycats.com now to get the whole game day experience, including TV and highlights. Here's Ben Davy.
Thank you, Patrick. And Adam Odd, the designated hitter tonight, will take the mound for the Baycats as he will pitch his first inning of work this season. And he'll face Dan Mara, Luca Boscarino, and Damon Toppoli. Bottom of the 8th inning, a 20-3 Toronto lead. Barrie's largest deficits this season, 17 runs.
Got to be their largest deficit by quite a bit, I would think.
Dan Mara tonight has 3 of Toronto's 12 walks tonight. We mentioned it earlier. At one point, the walks were 12-0 in favor of the Maple Leafs. They've had a lot of base runners, hit the long ball a couple of times too, and that's pretty much been how they've built this huge lead. 9 runs in the first.
That one must have hit him because Mara's heading to first base.
So another hit batter. And Boscarino will bat for the 6th time tonight. Adam Odd has some pretty good velocity on that fastball. I was watching his warm-ups. He was giving it.
Well, he's a guy who has pitched in the past. He has been a two-way player in the IBL where he has pitched and hit. Has not been used as a pitcher with the Baycats, but he's a guy that isn't just a batter pitching. He's pitched in the past.
Good pitcher tonight for Josh Matlow in this 20-3 blowout game. And a beautiful leaping grab by James Anderson and a foot race over to the bag. And not in time to nab Dan Mara, but what a catch by James Anderson at first base.
Great catch at first. I was honestly a little bit surprised that he didn't get over at first, but that was a good job by Castaldo to get back, or Mara to get back, excuse me. But an amazing catch at first. And you're right, the way that Mara throws, it's obvious that he's been a pitcher before, right? Excuse me, the way Odd throws. I think I said the way Mara throws.
Yep.
The way Odd throws. It's obvious he's been a pitcher before. There's a distinct actual pitcher look to him.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable out there. And he's got some pretty good speed. Just looks like control might be a little bit of an issue. He hit Dan Mara on the first batter he faced, got the line out from Boscarino, and now he's behind David Toppoli. Toppoli hits a high pop-up, shallow outfield, and 3 players converge. Who is it going to be? It's the center fielder. Jake Wilson calling them both off, and there's 2 down here in the 8th inning.
I tell you, man, David Toppoli can still hit. He's been hitting for a very long time, and obviously primarily the manager now, but he is still a very good hitter.
46 years old. He's been in this league an awful long time. He might be double the age of Adam Odd. I have to look up his birthday. And here's Greg Carrington, the center fielder now, the number 9 hitter. If he gets aboard, the Leafs will start their 7th time through the lineup tonight. And the Baycats got into the lineup 7 times around against Kitchener here on Saturday night. So again, this is very similar. It's almost like a flip the script kind of situation from the Kitchener game on Saturday night in Barrie. That was a 20-1 Baycat win.
Almost completely the opposite tonight.
Yeah, Barrie down 20-3 here this evening. Hard to explain. Fouled off at home plate. Henry Civil unable to record an out. In the bottom of the first inning, a 9-run frame for Toronto. They sent 12 men to the plate, and they have not looked back since. Baycats have had some hits tonight, but just unable to string any momentum together. Adam Odd to Greg Carrington. That one is a called strike 3. And that will do it for the Leafs in the bottom of the 8th. So we go to the 9th inning. Baycats down 20-3. You're watching Baycats TV. We'll be right back. We're at Jack Dominico Field here at Christie Pitts in Toronto. Corner Barton and Christie, and a big lead for the Maple Leafs, 20-3 over the Baycats as the 5-game win streak is in jeopardy here. 3 final bullets for the Baycats here in the 9th inning. And Roy Sando throw over to first in time for the out. James Anderson and Jake Wilson to follow.
I think we can say that this is not the Baycats night. So it's already time, I think, to put this one behind them and just think about the next one on the schedule.
Excuse me, Adam Odd, the pitcher, started the game as the DH. Worked a pretty good inning there in the 8th inning to get Barrie
So
through another
normally,
frame.
when the DH enters the game, you have to give up the DH in favor of the pitcher spot. But I guess when the DH enters the game as the pitcher, he just becomes the pitcher.
Yeah, and if this game went longer and Adam Odd was removed from the game, you would have lost the DH, right?
Right, it would be the pitcher coming into the batting order.
Right, so whoever came in to pitch would have to occupy that number 3 spot in the order. Odd hits this one to third. Scooped up quickly by Castaldo, mishandles it. Jordan Castaldo moved from first to third about an inning ago. And he's unable to make the play. That will probably be Toronto's second error of the night.
Any update in Brantford?
2-2 now. So the Cardinals with a run in the 7th. Off Brantford's Greg Bruder on in relief. That is a low-scoring game at Arnold Anderson Stadium tonight.
Is that Ortiz, David Ortiz hitting?
D. Ortiz. I don't know if it's
It is
David.
David Ortiz.
Wow.
I can confirm that.
How about that?
Fun fact about that. That means there are 2 players who share names of members of the 2004 Boston Red Sox.
Oh my goodness, really?
Because there's a David Ortiz in the league and there's also a Kevin Millar in the league.
Oh, wow. Yeah. How about that?
Millar
That's
pitched,
a great trivia question.
Yeah, Millar pitched with the Baycats a little bit last year, now with the Kitchener Panthers, I believe. So there's the walk.
Adam Odd. James Anderson aboard. So we got 2 on here.
So members of the 04, 05-ish, I believe both those teams. David Ortiz, Kevin Millar, current members of the IBL, different players named David Ortiz and Kevin Millar.
And sorry, who does Millar play for in the IBL?
He played for the Baycats a bit last year and now plays for the Panthers.
The Panthers, okay. If they were both Red Sox, that would really be something.
Well, that would be really amusing, wouldn't it?
Almost strange.
Neither of them are Red Sox because Ortiz is on the Cardinals.
That's true, yeah. Playing the Red Sox tonight. And down goes Wilson. So there's 2 out now with 2 on, and Juan Familia will be the final bullet for the Baycats here in the 9th. $20 runs, 16 hits for the Leafs, 3 runs, 10 hits for the Baycats.
So if a Dustin Pedroia ever pops up in the IBL,
I would be wondering if there's a relation there. Maybe his son. Well, his son probably wouldn't be old enough. Well, you never know. Pitch is outside. Familia has not reached base tonight. He has 3 strikeouts. This would be a good time for him to get on base, keep this inning alive. Called strike to him. It's close to the plate here. You may as well swing. Pitch on the way, and that's outside. All 4. Familia keeps the inning alive for Carson Burns. And the Barrie fans make a little bit of noise here. They'd like to see something to cheer about, maybe in this 9th inning. Burns tonight 2 singles and a walk, 2 for 3. Burns just hit 300 for Barrie last year, finishing with a 301 average. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Here's the pitch. And it's a called strike. Reminder, Barrie's next home game will be Sunday night, as we'll see the Guelph Royals once again. This one is hit foul down the line.
Royals been a pretty good team this year.
They can swing the bats. And you can get your tickets at the gate or online ahead of time at BarrieBaycats.com. This one hits a right field. It's a base hit, and it keeps the inning alive. And in to score is Adam Odd. It's a 20-4 game. Carson Burns with an RBI single. Some of the rowdier fans here at Christie Pitts just wanted to see 420 on the scoreboard, and they got their wish. It's amazing the things that this one's hit to left field, or to third base, excuse me. The throw across from Castaldo in time, and that will do it. Well, Patrick, that big first inning for the Maple Leafs got it going, and they kept their foot on the gas pedal every step of the way tonight, cruising to a 16-run lead over the Baycats here at Christie Pitts.
Yeah, once the Leafs got up, it did not change, and the Baycats will be looking to put this one behind them very quickly and move on. They have to take positives from their last win streak and think to themselves, we're still a pretty good baseball team. We've won a lot lately. One game isn't going to change that, and they just need to put this one behind them and think about the good ones.
A couple of days left for the Baycats to regroup before they hit the road and face the Welland Jackfish on Saturday night, and then again back home at Vintage Throne Stadium after 3 straight road games. Back home to face the Guelph Royals on Sunday evening. Patrick and I will have that broadcast for you live right here on Baycats TV. We hope you can join us online, if not at the ballpark,